for original reporting.
I'm Peter King at the Kennedy Space Center. For the first time since 1972, NASA is set to launch humans to the moon. Artemis 2 could fly in just 24 minutes. Commander Reed Weissman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialists Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen are coming to the end of what's been a mostly smooth countdown. It's for what they hope will be a trip around the backside of the moon. So what makes this the perfect crew? We asked five-time space station astronaut Peggy Whitson, who was on the selection committee.
By the time you get to the end, you've got somebody that's very technically qualified and very ready to go. And the final selection criteria is, would I want to fly with this person?
If all goes as planned, they'll be in close quarters for more than 9 days and go farther into space than anyone has gone before. And that journey starts in just minutes. I'm Peter King at the Kennedy Space Center. Now with more CBS News, here's Jennifer Kuiper.
Ahead of his address on the war with Iran tonight, some news from the UK about President Trump.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. President Trump has told the Telegraph newspaper here that he's seriously considering pulling the USA out of NATO over the allies' reluctance to join the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran, a sentiment he echoed in a separate phone interview with the Reuters news agency. Trump referred to the alliance, co-founded by the U.S. in the ashes of post-war Europe, a paper tiger, and said Russian President Putin sees it that way, too.
U.S. Supreme Court justices cast doubt on President Trump's order to end birthright citizenship. Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
The proponents of both acts said everyone who's born in the U.S. will be citizens.
The Trump administration says the phrase in the 14th Amendment, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, means allegiance. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson on the counterpoint.
It's not about looking at allegiance in this sense, that what those who drafted the 14th Amendment intended is to say that what matters is where you're born, not the legal status of your parents.
A decision is expected in early summer. DNA testing reveals an answer about a 1974 Utah death. CBS's Allison Keyes.
The Utah County Sheriff's Office says it has definitively linked the previously unsolved killing of 17-year-old Laura Ann Amy to the notorious killer Ted Bundy. She vanished on Halloween night 51 years ago, and her beaten body was found a month later. New technology allowed investigators to submit a single male DNA profile to a national database which matched Ted Bundy.
This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible?
Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
Coming up, Washington leaders respond to a mail-in voting executive order. That's after Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
And this one's brought to us by Bradley Johnson Lawyers at 1-800-DUIOA. And Kent, we just cleared that crash southbound 167 at 84th Avenue. But you've got a bumper-to-bumper backup coming out 405 down to the scene. Renton to Auburn is a 40-minute commute. We have a new crash up in Mount Lake Terrace at South 5, just past State Route 104, blocking the HOV lane. We're backed up to 44th and Linwood right now. And then once you get into Seattle, South 5 slows from about Lake City Way to the West Seattle Bridge. Linwood to Seattle is about a half-hour drive. 35 minutes to travel northbound I-5 through downtown. Your big backup start near Albro Place all the way across the Ship Canal Bridge. Again, Highway 99 looking pretty good through downtown Seattle in both directions. And if you're traveling over the mountain passes anytime soon, all of them report no restrictions. Stevens, however, is starting to see signs of some light snow falling down. Serving the Pacific Northwest for over 30 years with hundreds of five-star reviews, 1-800-DUIOA.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. Washington Secretary of State says he's considering legal action after President Trump signed an executive order directing states to adopt stricter rules for mail-in voting. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is following.
Secretary Steve Hobbs says the order, which also calls on Homeland Security to compile a list of verified U.S. citizens eligible to vote in each state, will never fly because it's a states' rights issue. Erwin Chemerinsky, Dean of Law at Cal Berkeley, says the order is unconstitutional.
The president does not have the legal authority to create a requirement for a national voter list or require that states restrict absentee ballots.
Trump says states that don't comply risk losing federal funding. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Tacoma police are investigating the shooting of a 2-year-old toddler. This happened just before 9:30 last night in a neighborhood near I-5 and Highway 512. Toddler was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Police later arrested 2 suspects. In Skyway, detectives are investigating a deadly overnight shooting at an apartment complex. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun reports one person was killed, another injured at the Creston Point Apartments.
We know the person who died was shot in the parking lot. No word on a suspect right now. This apartment complex has a troubled history. We were also at this apartment for a shooting in 2023 where 2 people got hurt. Another deadly shooting in 2022. A teen also overdosed and died at the complex last year.
New audits is raising questions about nearly $37 million in child care payments in Washington. Auditor's office found weak oversight at the Department of Children, Youth and Families led to questionable payments made with federal funds just last year. Senate Republican leader John Braun called the findings a systemic failure.
The agency's response to, hey, this is really bad was, well, we're going to need more money. There's no trust that they'll use that money to really get after the problem.
Auditor's report does not confirm fraud occurred. In a statement, DCYF says it is committed to strengthening internal controls and resolving those issues identified. To your weather update, a soggy Wednesday afternoon, cold and gusty, along with some mountain snow, some light showers returning for tomorrow. Right now, 49 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
Yes,
thank you.
Please, let's get ready. Everybody get a pen, everybody. Here we go.
Man, everybody knows that the reptilians and the Greys have been fighting over the Earth for centuries, and that Bigfoot, Bigfoots, them and the Loch Ness misunderstood being have been defending us from the Greys and the reptilians this whole time. People that don't even get me started about the ancients. They would actually rather be called the experienced, because ancients makes them sound old, or the replicators, and they identify as you. It's kind of weird. See, this is another failure of the public school system, is that they're not teaching the science.
Do we have to start the show that way? Honestly, you're gonna dig out of that. Don't be looking at each other.
I'm all for it.
All right, fine.
I think it's fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, who am I? Who am I to question you two? I'm just a guy with my name on the show. I got to dig out of this crazy hole about big feet, Bigfoot.
Big feets.
Diving in the news. All right, don't forget, you too can be a part of whatever this is. The Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 1-888-973-5476. All are welcome. I believe last time I checked, unless something has changed, if you were to take everything that's happened in the last 24 hours since we've been on the air and you would try to put it on 2 pieces of paper and have a staple on it, you would call it the news. Here we go. I was thinking we're going to go back to an old man with a big rock on his chest. There's a history to be learned there. And I hope you're sitting down because I got some shocking news for you as well in the middle of all that. Plus, we're going to the moon. Well, I'll go around the moon again, if you believe we ever went to the moon. Did you find out? Did you find out if that guy has said anything?
Haven't seen anything today.
Artemis 2, the moon launch. I was reading about it today. It's a good idea to read something before you come on and talk about it. And the experts were like, well, there's a lot of concerns. Would you want to hear before you get on a rocket that there's a lot of concerns, like the re-entry, the heat, the shields weren't working so well, a bunch of other things as well. But it's about to take off, I believe, right? NASA polling team ensures it is a go.
The launch window begins in 15 minutes.
Okay. And Bill Nye, the science guys, they were the bow ties. Nothing can possibly go wrong. Plus, Matt Gaetz, when he's not dating 18-year-olds and doing a bunch of coke, he says that, okay, We're going deeper. The whole show is coming to you from a rabbit hole now, Joe. That he says apparently the United States government is cloning aliens with human beings.
You sent me that one.
I did?
Yep.
Oh. Are any of them cute and under the age of 18 for Matt Gates? Let's see. Plus, if you want to look better, get yourself a hammer and bash yourself in the face. We'll tell you how to do that. Gas prices, $4, but it's not really as bad as it sounds. It's actually been higher in 2022. And then Marco Rubio explains why we're going to war, why we had to go to war against Iran. And he's backed up by Clinton, Bush, Biden, Obama not so much. And then, of course, Trump. We're going to hear from Donald Trump, I think, at around 6 o'clock. He's going to be addressing the nation. Excuse me?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Excuse me?
Excuse me? Can't wait.
Don't worry about it.
There you go. And Senator John Braun's going to join us as well, because audits, and only a small portion of it, it looks like, get this, it's shocking that apparently the money that is sent to child care providers it might not be going to the child care providers providing any child care. This could be fraud. Here's a kooky part of it. A lot of the money is federal. Federal dollars combined with state dollars to provide child care subsidies. And a brief audit, and they're saying, well, we don't have enough people to audit. It looks like maybe some of the stuff is going to ill-begotten gains, as they say. And here's a great job. I don't know what to pay, $200 and some bucks or something like that.
Up to.
Just strap a helmet on your, or a camera on your head, and then just go about your day doing stuff like making the bed or making perhaps poached eggs. That is something. You could be, I don't know, a righty. Okay, teeny. She's on the floor. Righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. You could be changing a tire. And if you videotape it, $200 an hour or $200 a day?
Somewhere between $150 and $200 an hour, depending on which company and what the chore is.
And by the way, if you do this, not only will you will get some money, but eventually you will be held responsible for destroying the U.S. economy. There's a tease.
That's a tease.
There's one for you. Hey, blast one. Yeah, towards Nate. There you go. Sync the whole room up.
Well, welcome to the show, Ella.
It's so funny. I have something new in here. Ella is, you been hired yet, or are you part-time on your way out with the deal?
I think it's official. I think I'm hired. It'd be a really bad surprise to know I wasn't, but I'm getting paid.
Okay, it's so weird to see somebody new come in, and then you're like, what? What is this show?
I tried to warn her, but until you experience it.
Well, here we are then. Oh, we ran out of music. I'm not finished. Hang on one second. What else? Let's see. And anything else in here? Any good? Oh, why did they fly? Was it a Huey helicopter?
Apache.
Apache?
Two of them.
Past Kid Rock's house. That's not fair to Kid Rock. When those rotor blades start spinning, it blows all his cocaine everywhere.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
Okay, that's all that. All righty, let's go. I was thinking it was a warm September day when Mr. Corey laid down on the ground. He didn't have much to say as the board was placed over his chest, and the first stone was placed upon him. Now, the weight of the stone he could easily accommodate, even though he was in his 80s. He was a tough old coot. The lungs could easily fill and expel his breath. He stared up at the sky. He didn't say anything. He knew another stone would be coming shortly, and he knew eventually it would kill him. His executioners waited for him to confess, but he laid there in silence. Another stone was added. He looked into the faces of his neighbors. He knew them quite well, and he knew what they wanted, but he would not give them what they wanted. He refused. And Mr. Corey, a farmer, well known for being stubborn and cruel, apparently he had beat a man to death that worked for him on the farm. He knew that his silence had two purposes. The first one was economic. If he had confessed, this is according to the rules back then he would lose his farm and he had nothing to leave to his family. The second one was more important for him. His silence was a calculated stand against a broken, irrational system. And so the old man did not speak a word, and another stone was added to the rocks that were already there on the board across his chest, and the enemies left. They left that evening, but they would return at sunrise. The town leaders were so desperate to rid their community of dissent and disorder, they needed to reestablish the balance of pure thought. The action was in alliance with the covenant that the town had built its entire self around. In fact, it had left Europe in order to find a more pure way of thinking and living. Now, 19 other people had already been executed prior to Mr. Corey laying on the ground and having the first stone placed upon him. His lungs, compressed, were much like the rational thought that would be in that town. There was no breathing room for rational thought. I thought of the old farmer being crushed to death when I happened upon the story about, is it Pantone? Is that it?
Pantone.
Pantone, yeah. See, Pantone is this company. It's a printing company that was established in the 1950s in New Jersey that allows designers to color match specific colors as a standard for consistency. And twice a year, the company hosts in Europe a secret meeting to choose the color that will be color of the year. Now, according to them, the color is to integrate parts of our culture, God, that expresses attitudes and emotions of the time. So the designers will take their cue on what they should make colors of. Like, for instance, you'll start to see nail polishes and coffee mugs and rugs and drapes and placemats all expressing the emotion of the time, according to this company. Now, this year, I hope you're sitting down because Mocha Mousse, which was the color of the year in 2025, I don't have to tell you that. And, of course, in 2024, we all know, say it with me, Peach Fuzz. That's right. Is now, for 2026, Cloud Dancer, number 4201. Cloud Dancer is kind of a grayish white. And now, under normal times, the color of the year announcement would only be noticed by designers and Home Depot paint salesmen. But we are not in normal times, not at all. Like the Puritans of Massachusetts back in 1692, in their irrational hunt for anything not aligned with strict moral codes, we have people that were burning young girls at the stake. The witch hunters of 2026 are setting ablaze the devilish hue from Cloud Dancer. Oh.
Hey, Pantone, you're fired.
Yeah.
You really chose white? You chose white? In these times? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're fired.
This witch hunter is got a thing of color swatches in front of her, and she's set them on fire, and they're slowly burning in front of her, and the smoke is wafting into her face.
Mm-hmm. This is Katie Rogers Feng Shui. I know.
Oh, Katie Rogers Swung Fei. Very upset. Yes.
The danger of that kind of messaging, and I'm not having it.
No.
I'm not having it. Really, 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 really bad choice.
Oh, 3 reallys right in a row. How dare they choose Cloud Dancer in all of its whiteness? The Puritans, much like the deeply offended lady we just had there, had designed a social structure so rigid, so restrictive, that there was no deviation from the code of conduct, no shades of gray. And this company's response to all of the political narrative to the color, they said, well, maybe we don't mean to offend anybody. That's just the color that we chose. We don't tend to put anything political in any sort of one of our colors. Well, that makes perfect sense, but not if you're one of these woke witches that are out on the hunt painting everything with a broad brush of Tangerine Tango, which, by the way, was color of the year in 2012. They should react like the old farmer did. when the chest is covered with stones. You don't confess. You don't say anything to make anybody feel any better. You just simply admit that you did nothing wrong, and you repeat the words over and over again to keep the woke witches of today away. And you repeat the last words of that farmer before the final stone was put on. And then when the final stone was put on, he turned and looked at them and said, "More weight, please." Don't give up. Don't ever give up. I was shocked when here's another person. So upset that they chose the color white.
You're not going to convince me that this was not an intentional move. There's no way that this was an oversight. Like, someone did this on purpose. Pantone just released their color of the year for 2026, and it is severely lacking pigment. It's white. Not a good look. The optics of this, not good. Not good, Pantone. Is white even technically a color? In the year of the alligator Alcatraz and Sydney Sweeney and her good American Eagle jeans, is this really the way you want to go?
Well, you see the connections between these kooks, right? So you had they're out there looking, the witch hunt starts because somebody had said something or did something, and the devil's coming to get us. It's going to completely destroy our community. We're Puritans. We hold ourselves to a high moral code. Everything is right there to be aligned with God. These people that are offended by the colors coming from this company because they themselves are holding themselves to such a high moral code, I mean, they're into the point of ridiculousness. And I'm certain no one's going to be stoned or killed or set on fire because of it. But what a weird world for those people to be living in. It's very similar to the thing that happened. If you might have been following the story about the mural that was being painted there in Rhode Island. Here's what happened. There was money that was being set aside by the city. They have murals all over Rhode Island, beautiful, beautiful ones. And they have a bunch of artists that do the work. Well, what happened is they started to find it. They had it, and it was of the young woman that had been stabbed to death on that bus in Carolina. Well, I think either they ran out of money or for some reason, Elon Musk and another organization contributed money to the nonprofit that is funded by the state of Rhode Island. Well, as soon as they got involved and put the money in there, then the mayor responds to the thing, say, well, that doesn't reflect our values. So they're taking it down because Elon Musk came in and because Musk is associated with the right. Therefore, we can't have a beautiful mural of a woman that was killed on a bus. It's all just leaks out of the same lame brain philosophy to the code that we're all supposed to be living under. It's just strange times. By the way, I'm not a big fan of Cloud Dancer.
I'm going to burn my swatches as soon as I get home.
Oh, I know. I've already burned all mine.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Wow, that was a good one. You see that?
You got them all over the table?
Yeah, right towards the camera, too. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic, Nathan.
All right, the KIRO Newsradio app has our update. It is busy out there. We still have our crash through Mountain Lake Terrace, South 5, just past State Route 104. It's blocking your HOV lane. You're backed up to 196th in Linwood. North 5 slows. It's jam-packed in Northgate all the way to this crash scene. That is a looky-loo backup. Seattle to Linwood right now, taking you a half hour. On the east side, Bellevue, South 405 at 520. A crash partially blocks the off-ramp to eastbound 520. Looks like our driver slid into the attenuator there in the Gore Point. 40 minutes of travel northbound I-5 through downtown Seattle. Backups begin at the Michigan Curve, continue across the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5 slows from the U District to the West Seattle Bridge. Linwood to Seattle is a half hour. This includes our backup through Mountain Lake Terrace. And Seattle to Federal Way, almost an hour and 55 minutes. A 15-minute delay with heavy volumes from Interurban Avenue all the way into Fife. Just heavy volume here. Text the app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Do you get sinus infections?
congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches. You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Don't wait. Insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
How would you like to finally lose all those unwanted pounds quickly without spending thousands on painful injections or prescriptions? Hi, it's Donna Simpson, health and wellness expert. You probably know someone that is using Ozempic, the hottest diet craze in the country. Everyone knows about this prescription injection. Celebs use it to look their best. The problem is most of us can't afford Ozempic, and these injections can be so uncomfortable. Now you can lose the weight just as easily, but with no needles, no expensive prices, no side effects, and no worries. You need to try Lozempic, a new miracle weight loss breakthrough that performs so well it's been called nature's Ozempic. Lozempic is an easy-to-take diet pill now available without a prescription, being used by thousands to get rid of those unwanted pounds. So call now and find out how to get a free bottle.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Lozempic, call 800-631-7101, 800-631-7101. Free bottles are limited, so call 800-631-7101. That's 800-631-7101.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. I'm here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. What is something someone can do right now to protect themselves from being on the wrong side of the IRS?
It's really pretty simple, and that is do it right. File on time and pay on time. Yet things do get in the way, like we know. And if you have situations where you're feeling a little concerned about what's in your tax return, get some professional help. And there is a group or a class of people that just think they can put anything they want in their tax return. And they think they are being smarter than the government. It's kind of like the person, the narcissist that thinks they're smarter than everybody else and they're going to get away with it. They will maybe for a while, but the time will come. There will be a day of reckoning.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. NASA astronauts are set to blast off on a historic moon mission.
Artemis 2 crew is go for launch.
Artemis 2 is set to bring humans closer to the moon than they've been in more than 50 years. CBS's Christian Benavides reports from the Kennedy Space Center, where that crew of 3 Americans and 1 Canadian are ready for liftoff.
The mission will take them a record-breaking 252,000 miles from Earth, a little over 4,000 miles farther than the Apollo 13 crew in 1970.
Now, people around the country are at watch parties to witness this launch, including at the Museum of Flight in Seattle.
I was 4 years old when the last crew was out, so for me it's just a feeling of joy and just utter delight and pride in this huge scientific community.
Today's launch marks the beginning of a 10-day journey around the moon and back to Earth. Liftoff now set for 5 minutes and 10 seconds away. President Trump is set to address the nation tonight, giving an update on the Iran war. CBS's Tina Kraus has a preview.
In a social media post, the president said a ceasefire would be considered, quote, when Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. Until then, we are blasting Iran into oblivion. CBS News has learned President Trump is also likely to bash NATO allies in his speech for not helping secure the critical waterway that roughly 20% of the world's oil passes through.
Tonight's address is set for 6 o'clock, and we will carry it live. Farmers across the state say they're reporting a surge in ice raids. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports one nonprofit says Central Washington and Whatcom County seem to be target areas.
Dylan Honcoop with Save Family Farms tells me more and more farmers, most recently in Whatcom County, are seeing an uptick in ICE agents arresting their workers.
Workers are being picked up, are being detained, being deported. Some workers with their papers in order who have been taken to the detention center in Tacoma.
He says cherry farmers in Central Washington worry crops could sit and rot like they did last year. The nonprofit says the state's agricultural industry is already recovering from losing $400 million because of tariffs and high fuel costs. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
3:32 now. We turn it over to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
And this one's brought to you by Heritage Homecraft. 1 hour commute times quickly becoming a common thread this afternoon. Good news in Mountain Lake Terrace, though. We just cleared that collision South 5 just past State Route 104. So we've got scattered backups from Linwood to the scene still. North 5 is jam-packed from Northgate to that crash scene. And really, the backups continue through Linwood. So Seattle to Linwood's going to take you 35 minutes. Bellevue, South 405 at 520. A crash partially blocked the off-ramp to eastbound 520. Once you get past this, it remains packed all the way into Renton. So Bellevue to Renton is going to take you a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way, 55 minutes. You're heavy from Inner Urban Avenue all the way past State Route 18. 55-minute commute on the Valley Freeway between Renton and Puyallup. We're pretty solid along the entire stretch. Tacoma to Olympia, one of our rare commutes, looking good right now, taking just 40. Heritage Homecraft will transform your kitchen in about a week. Way less mess, time, and expense of tear out. Call today and Heritage Homecraft will pay your sales tax. 425-485-1600. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
And rain across the map this afternoon. We'll see some more showers tomorrow. And right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
If you believe they put a man on the moon.
If you believe they really did, Joe. Artemis, so close. I hope they've got a good heating, cooling, and plumbing system on board. If they don't, they should probably have called Home Comfort Alliance. When it comes to Home Comfort Alliance and it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, I gotta think of only one place. Let me think of it anyway. Yeah, that's Home Comfort Alliance. I was just racking my brains there while that music was playing in the background.
Nice.
Home Comfort Alliance. What are we? What are we? 2 minutes away
Artemis
from?
2 crew is 248,000 miles
seconds.
away from the moon, and
Artemis.
if all goes well, they will fly by it in 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Artemis.
30 by it. TLS is go for core stage to internal power.
Artemis, named
All right,
after
there's the rocket's core stage,
the
which
Greek
houses
goddess
3 flight
of
computers,
hunt,
is now on its own
wilderness,
power.
wild animals, chastity, and the moon.
There's no more hold time
Artemis.
because there's no more margin on these batteries.
Okay.
So we would have to recycle back to T-minus 10 to recharge if we had a hold.
Are we going to the moon?
1 minute.
Orbiting the moon, coming
Right
back.
now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS. The rocket will count itself down, but honor any holds that could come from the ground. Now, shortly after liftoff, Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
All right, Gary, standing by.
ALS, go for ALS. Great call out. The rocket is on its own. Yes. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched.
This is what it takes for me to start my 66 Ford pickup truck.
Sound suppression water is flowing.
15.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Surprised Trump's name is not on the side of it. Here we go.
4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Gary's
working on that one.
Gary's taking over.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
As you watch this, you can't help to think about the Challenger back in January 28th, 1986.
Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, Ponce de Leon.
Stan, we have you loud and clear on Ponce de Leon.
Have you the same.
Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis II mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour.
Against the blackened sky, a bright orange ball.
1 minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation expected at the 2 minute 9 second mark. We see throttle down. Confirmed separation. Main engines throttling up, guidance converged.
So the booster rockets have now been detached. They're now floating away.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready.
Copy all, Stan.
Integrity, SM priming complete.
SM priming complete.
2 minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state ahead of service module fairing separation. Three minutes into the flight, Integrity 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange, now passing 5,000 miles per hour.
They'll be traveling 238,855 miles. That's the distance from the Earth to the moon.
Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Houston Integrity, good last jettison, great view.
Copy jettison, Team Eco 8+02.
We see the same on board, Stan.
And Houston has you loud and clear on TDRS at the common line.
Outstanding, Stan. We have you the same.
3 minutes, 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis 2, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen crossed the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy.
There are 4 astronauts
Flight Dynamics Officer analyzed the
board.
time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes, 2 seconds, time of MECO.
There they go. Yeah.
Success.
Whew.
So far. I was slightly terrified that entire time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't help but think about what happened to the Challenger there in 1986. I watched it. We were all at a restaurant. We were like, oh, let's watch. And then all of a sudden, it was like something, engines to full or whatever the call was. And then all of a sudden there was a giant explosion and then there was silence and you could just see that they weren't sure what had happened. And then it was the end of all those on board. Christina McCullough, the teacher, and I did. That was probably one of the saddest parts of it. I mean, it was tragedy for everybody but involved. But I think the kids from that school were watching at the time, weren't they? Were you actually? Are you some involved in this somehow?
Yeah, my mother said that it was her teacher who got selected to go into the Challenger, and so they brought in TVs to like show all the kids. It was going to be such a cool thing, and then obviously tragedy struck, but it was pretty traumatic, obviously.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, I don't want to be a wet blanket on this thing.
Oh, really?
Anybody that says that is already a wet blanket.
That is like your job title.
Mr. Wet Blanket. Wet blanket doesn't do you any good because it doesn't bring you any warmth. It's just a big wet blanket. I just go back to, we don't have the money for this.
They're pulling out all the stops to get the Epstein story.
Oh, that's no. I just
come on, Joe.
Come on, Joe. It's to me. I look at it like we already have this enormous debt that we can't pay. We keep spending money we don't have, and if you were to line up every dollar in our debt that we have, it would go to the moon in dollar bills. Go to them in stacks. It would go to the moon and back 9 times. 9 times. Right? But yet here we are. And again, I'm Mr. Wet Blanket on it. I commend and I have the utmost respect for the scientists and the engineers and everybody involved and everybody. But you're putting this on a credit card. We can't pay. We won't be able to pay the interest in a couple of years. We will all be paying this debt. Every single American every single American pays $144,000 right now. That's what we owe part of the credit card. And you will see cuts to Social Security. You'll see cuts to whatever it has to be, because at a certain point, we will not be able to continue to fund all of these wonderful world life-changing endeavors, because we simply don't have the money. But
this is peanuts compared to the war.
Okay, Joe, but no, it's not.
It is.
No.
Even their base was going to be $20 billion. They want $200 million to keep launching rockets. They
went $90 million over on this one. But if you really want to talk about, I've been looking since Bush and Clinton, right, and Obama and Biden and Trump. They have all said the same thing, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. We cannot stand by and allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon.
They don't have one.
Well, they still have the ingredients, and if they really were to be trusted, they wouldn't be building the thing as they were underground. If all they wanted to do was have nuclear energy, they could do what everybody else does and have nuclear energy being created and centrifuged above ground. But for why they put it under a mountain,
Maybe they had mountains.
As Hillary Clinton said, they are not to be trusted. All right, here comes Nate tracking traffic. Nathan.
Yep, Seattle to Everett pushing an hour, 55 minutes. We're solid from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 10. You're slow from mid-Bellevue all the way to the Alderwood interchange, and then you'll hook into northbound I-5. Shoreline, South 5 at 175th. A collision blocks your right lane. You're going to come to a complete stop there at State Route 104. On the east side, southbound 405 and 520, we still have this crash partially blocking the off-ramp to eastbound 520. You can still access eastbound 520. You just kind of got to scoot around this car. And then once you get past this crash scene, 405 is packed all the way into Renton. So Bellevue to Renton is at a half hour. North 405, solid from South Center through the Renton S-curves. South Center to Bellevue, 25 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, a 1 hour trip. You're heavy from Interurban Avenue all the way past State Route 18. And we're pushing an hour on the Valley Freeway between Renton and Puyallup. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Ready for family fun and fitness year-round in your own backyard? During our Sweet Spring Savings event, we're adding Endless Pools factory discounts with our already incredible savings. That means you can enjoy up to $16,500 off your dream swim spa. Don't wait. These amazing savings end April 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub. Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge of win-win for all of us. Play Washington lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington lottery, lottery, yeah.
Visit WaLottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply. Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Thanks, Brandy. Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home. better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster at a higher price and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwest.com. Sellwithwest.com, a better way to sell your home.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Give your attic an overhaul with new insulation from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. Stay cool all summer, slash utility bills, and boost your home's air quality. Call now and get $300 off attic ceiling and ventilation, or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Your windows and doors play a huge role in your home's efficiency and comfort. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for windows that are up to 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and reduce noise by up to 50%. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today.
All right, you're still watching the Artemis, Joe?
Replays? I want the live shot. Why are we seeing?
There's a live shot. It's just going to be the little space capsule.
They're on their way
darkness.
now, Joe. They're way out of range.
Yeah, they're out of range,
Come
Joe.
on.
Calm down.
I saw him on the moon, allegedly, live.
Okay, wow, we're going there now. All right, back to this guy. Brandon Peters, he's a 21-year-old kid who makes millions of dollars every single year because people follow him on Kick. You can pay money to be a subscriber to him. He gives you content that you can't get anywhere else. How do you say his name?
Clavicular, I
right,
think.
which is, I think, from clavicle, I assume. He also talks about, you ever seen this guy? Maybe if you've got kids that are under the age of 20-something. Hopefully no kids over the age of 20 care about this guy. But if you want to look like him, all you have to do is get yourself a little hammer and hit yourself in the face with it.
People are using hammers and hitting their faces. It's part of a new and dangerous trend that's blowing up right now. It's called bone smashing. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. Some young men are hitting their faces with hard objects, trying to reshape their jawline and cheekbones. It's part of a bigger looks-maxing trend to improve appearance. But doctors say this is not how it works. They warn this can lead to broken facial bones, nerve damage, and even long-term issues.
Just get a facelift.
Who would do something like that?
Like concussions or permanent loss of sensation. One surgeon I spoke with called it self-induced trauma. Bottom line, this isn't a shortcut to a better jawline. It's a serious risk to your health.
Oh, okay, good to know. Here he explains.
Yeah, bone smashed, yeah. You smashed your face in, and what'd you do after? Like you went to the doctor and they reconstructed you, or?
No. So it's just small microfractures, and the bone grows back stronger according to what's
calcium.
So like I'll just lay down in my bed and brace my head so that there's no CTE, and then smash my zygotes so that they grow. Yes.
Okay. This cannot be normal.
Should you pursue bone smashing to get a stronger jaw?
Yeah, that's a question a lot of people are asking.
I don't recommend hitting yourself in the face with a hammer.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
Stop
wow.
the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer?
Yes.
Where is it?
She doesn't
Where's the
recommend it.
hammer?
No.
Hold on.
The idea here is that the mechanical stress from the blunt trauma is going to build stronger bones, but that's not exactly how this works. Yes, mechanical stressors from walking, for example, do play a vital role in bone strength, but blunt trauma is not the way to get it. That's simply not going to build up stronger bones.
Stronger. Okay, good. But at least we know now. Don't be smashing yourself in the face with a hammer.
I think I'm still going to try it.
Yeah, you do that, Joe.
I don't trust
Well, I'll help
doctors.
you. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan?
Yes, sir. Cars are sliding away this afternoon. Be sure to slow down and look for standing water. There's a lot of it. Seattle to Everett, we just hit 1 hour. It is bumper to bumper from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, an hour, 20 minutes. You're slow from Mid-Bellevue to the Alderwood interchange, and then you'll hook into the North 5 back up. Everett to Seattle are coming the other way. Everett to Seattle and Everett to Bellevue are quite the opposite. In fact, it's just 45 minutes to Seattle, 35 minutes to Bellevue. Once you get into Bellevue, South 405 at 520, our crash is blocking most of that off-ramp to 520 now. It appears crews are attempting to move the crash scene from the left side of that off-ramp over to the right lane, so we're blocking most of it. Seattle to Federal Way, 55 minutes. It's solid from Interurban Avenue all the way past State Route 18, and it's a 55-minute commute on the Valley Freeway between Renton and Puyallup. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hey homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, this is Jake Skorheim, and you know what they say, April showers bring May clogged and overflowing gutters. However, Valentine Roofing, they've got you covered. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, with flexible financing available and payments as low as $159 a month, Valentine makes it easy. Schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Just call 206 Roofing. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Retirement doesn't have to feel like a gamble. With straightforward planning and clear answers, LifePoint Law replaces fear with clarity, but only if you start now. Attend the next seminar. This Saturday in Bothell, April 7th in Bremerton, the 9th in Olympia, or the 11th in Federal Way. Seats are limited. Sign up now at lifepointlaw.com. Visit lifepointlaw.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. NASA's crewed mission around the moon is now underway.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
4 astronauts have blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center aboard a massive rocket on a long-anticipated journey around the moon, the first crewed lunar flyby in more than 50 years, with 3 Americans and 1 Canadian on board. Apollo 17 astronaut Harrison Schmitt is one of the last humans to set foot on the moon.
I've been talking about this for 53 and a half years, getting back to the moon. It's really important for the country to have this happen.
Jeff Brock is at a watch party in Seattle.
For me, it's just a feeling of joy and utter delight and pride in this huge scientific community.
The Artemis 2 crew will spend a day in orbit around Earth, checking their capsule before firing the main engine that will propel them to the moon. The Israeli military says air defenses are responding to Iranian missiles. This just a couple of hours before President Trump is set to give a televised address on the war in Iran. The Supreme Court is weighing the legality of President Trump's executive order that would ban birthright citizenship. Solicitor General John Sauer has argued the 14th Amendment's clause was adopted to grant citizenship to freed slaves and their children, not to children born to people who are in the country illegally or temporarily. Justice Elena Kagan poked holes in that.
So the text of the clause, I think, does not support you. I think you're sort of looking for some more technical, esoteric meaning.
CBS's Jan Crawford.
This case reminded me a lot of, when you go to a ball game and the powerhouse team is going to win at the end of the day, but you still have to play the game. You still got to run your defense. But you know that what that outcome is going to be. And I think this case is pretty clearly going to go against the president.
The national average for a gallon of regular unleaded gas is now up to nearly $4.10 as the war with Iran drags on. The average a month ago was $2.99. Joshua Harris manages a fresh fish distributor in Atlantic Beach, Florida.
We ship trucks from Miami bringing us fresh fish. We have boats that fishermen that bring us fresh fish. So the price of diesel fuel and fuel affects every aspect of our business. We deliver out to our customers and we have to pay more for fuel costs on that end as well.
Tiger Woods has told Ryder Cup officials he will not be captain for the 2027 matches in Ireland. Woods is stepping away from golf activities to seek treatment for his health following his arrest on suspicion of DUI during a car crash last week. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Celebrating NASA's latest mission to the moon, coming up after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. It is 1 hour between Seattle and Everett this afternoon, and you're solid from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, hour 20. You're slow from mid-Bellevue all the way to the Alderwood interchange, and then you're going to join that northbound I-5 backup in Bellevue, South 405 at 520. We've got a crash that's blocking most of the off-ramp, so what we have is you got to kind of zigzag through cars on either side of that off-ramp right down the middle, but you can still access the off-ramps to both east and westbound 520. North 5 through downtown Seattle is going to take you 50 minutes. It's solid from the Michigan Curve across the Ship Canal Bridge. Seattle to Federal Way, 1 hour, about a 20 to 25-minute delay here, and it is heavy from Interurban Avenue all the way past State Route 18. It's a 1 hour commute officially now on the Valley Freeway between Renton and Puyallup. It's pretty solid along the entire stretch. And westbound 18, you're bumper to bumper between the Valley Freeway and I-5. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon.
Today's mission to the moon being celebrated at watch parties around the country, including at the Museum of Flight in Seattle. Jeff Brock is there.
It's awe and pride, and I've been a space fanatic since I was very tiny, and to be able to see us go back to circle the moon with the first crewed flight in 50 years, it's stunning.
41 Washington companies have a hand in today's mission, including L3 Harris in Redmond. It builds the rocket's thrusters, and a Boeing-built rocket is also propelling those astronauts. U.S. Marshals arrested a Seattle homicide suspect who was mistakenly released from a California jail just last fall. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
Isaiah Andrews was wanted in connection with a deadly shooting in Seattle's Northgate neighborhood last year. Police say the shooting killed a 20-year-old man in a hotel parking lot. Andrews was arrested in California 3 days later, but jail staff in Contra Costa County mistakenly released him. He's been on the run ever since. Today, U.S. Marshals arrested Andrews in St. Louis, Missouri. He's now expected to be extradited back to Seattle to face a first-degree murder charge. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
City of Stanwood plans to reactivate its flock camera systems later this week. This follows newly signed legislation that regulates automated license plate readers. New legislation bars federal agencies from accessing the camera's data and prevents those cameras from being placed in sensitive areas, places like hospitals or schools. West Seattle residents, you can hear directly from the head of Sound Transit tonight, as the agency now facing tough questions about planned light rail extensions. CEO Dow Constantine will take part in that town hall. He told KIRO News Radio last week that it will be extending to West Seattle and beyond.
There's no world in which we don't end up with Ballard or West Seattle or Tacoma or Everett. We are committed to getting those things done.
But Sound Transit faces a $35 billion budget hole over the next 2 decades. Tonight's town hall is set for 6:30 at the Youngstown Cultural Arts Center. To your weather update now, a rainy afternoon, cold and gusty. Tomorrow, a few more showers in the mix. Right now, 49 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Hi, I like bumper-to-bumper backups with Nate, Small Talk with Teeny, Ryan Sports, Country Living with Farmer John, Down the Rabbit Hole with Joe, and Recipes with Aaron, not to mention the Wilcox.
You cut them off.
That's how it came, apparently.
That's all. You got all of it there. That's pretty much the whole show. Everybody got mentioned.
Yum!
Nothing for you, Andrew. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's
My
right.
recipes aren't good anyway.
Yeah, you got horrible diving in the door.
As compared to Aaron, they're
Aaron is the master chef.
Right.
Joe's invited us over to any of his big meals, though. Okay. By the way, congratulations, Seattle Times, Joe. I must say, they did a great job 5 days ago doing a piece on cost of gas in the state of Washington. Right on with this one.
They do consistently good work.
Why Washington gas prices are so high. It's more than the Iran war. Thank you, Jessica Fu, the Seattle Times business reporter.
Big fan.
Credit where credit is due. That was a good piece.
Well done. Thanks.
So looking to see gas prices being high. So average 402, that was on Tuesday. This is across the United States, according to AAA. It's the first time since 2022 that they've gone above $4, and that was the Russian-Ukrainian war begins, right? It drops to $3 when Trump gets in there. And then, so we're paying less than we did in 2022, because if you take the inflation dollars and you include all that, so in 2025, $5, June 22nd, inflation, it would be $5.56. The most we paid was in 2008, when today's dollars would be $6.16. That's across the United States. So last year, consumers of the total amount of money they were spending out of their paychecks, the total for gas was about 1.5% of all money spent. In 2008, it was 2.8%. So as it stands, we still are number 3 in the country, everybody. Way to go. We pay the most amount of money. We 18.3 cents in federal tax. And then this is where we save the world, everybody, with the CCA. All of you that vote, all of you people that voted for it. Hope you're enjoying the additional 55.4 cents that you're paying, plus other charges as well, bringing us to a grand total in Washington, as of late, at $59.04 a gallon. 3rd in the country.
$59.
Or 59 cents, sorry, $59.04. 4/10 of a cent. Let's call it 60 cents. Going up, going down, who cares? Only 60 cents.
Pennies.
Don't forget, we're single-handedly driving down the temperature of the earth here in the state of Washington. Illinois, a little higher, which is interesting. I think they're at 6 something or other. And then, of course, California and Hawaii, but Washington right on in there. Now, Georgia decided they were going to do a break at the pump. They were going to give everybody a break, and they're going to reduce the taxes. What happens when you do that? Well, then people use more gas. So, but it's really doesn't mean anything. But it's like, oh, let's do something for the people there in Georgia. So they give everybody a tax holiday for a little while. Doesn't really, just makes people feel somewhat better. So
must be nice.
When it comes to gas is kind of like makeup. You know, less is more. When you buy less, you use less, and you save more.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I often put a lot of mascara in my car whenever I need it. Secretary of State Marco Rubio jumps on social media to explain why. Why now? Stop it, Joe. Okay? Just stop it.
Many Americans are asking, why did the United States have to attack Iran now? Well, let me explain.
Yeah, please.
Iran wants to have nuclear weapons. Of that, there is zero doubt. If what they truly...
Okay, Mr. Rabbit.
Yep.
Whole roommate. Do you believe that Iran wants to have nuclear weapons?
No.
Okay.
Wanted, which is what they claim, is nuclear energy. Well, they could have nuclear energy, like all the other countries in the world have it, and that is you import the fuel and you build reactors above ground. That's not what Iran has done. They build their reactors and their facilities deep in mountains, away from the public glare, and they want to enrich that material. The same equipment that they could use to enrich material for energy, they could use to quickly enrich it to weapons grade. So it is clear that they've been offered every opportunity to have a nuclear program that allows them to have energy, not weapons. But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them, and they were well on their way. We were on the verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future. That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possess nuclear weapons, and the president made the right decision to wipe it out now. That is the goal of this operation, to destroy their conventional missiles and their drone program so they can't hide behind it and finally have to deal with the world seriously about never, ever having nuclear weapons.
So President Biden went before the UN and basically said the same sort of thing, that we have to have the entire country and the UN and everybody has to be in on this together to stop Iran from having nuclear weapons. Go back to 95.
And Russia's cooperation with Iran is another. All of you know that Iran, a country with more than enough oil to meet its energy needs, wants to buy reactors and other nuclear technology from Russia. This fact, together with other evidence about Iran's nuclear program, supports only one conclusion. Iran is bent on building nuclear weapons. I believe Russia has a powerful interest in preventing a neighbor, especially one with Iran's track record, from possessing these weapons. Therefore, if this sale does go forward, Russian national security can only be weakened in the long term.
Here we go.
The specter of an Iran armed with weapons of mass destruction and the
So here we go. This is 95. This is President Clinton.
Missiles to deliver them haunts not only Israel, but the entire Middle East, and ultimately all the rest of us as well. The United States, and I believe all the Western nations, have an overriding interest in containing the threat posed by Iran.
Okay. Then you had, when Obama got in there, he said, we believe diplomacy is going to be the best measure. So they said, we're going to come up with this thing. Iran has agreed to it, and they're going to have snapback, which is we're going to send in atomic inspectors. They're going to be able to go ahead whenever they want and let Iran know we're coming in. We want to see to make sure you're not spinning up any of this stuff, not using your centrifuges in order to be able to create nuclear bomb, uranium, and we want to come in. And then Iran said, well, we'll let you in when you give us notice to certain places, but other places we won't let you in, and you have to give us 24-hour notice, and we will let you know when you can come in. Well, the inspectors were like, well, that's not quite the way we set this thing up. And when they did come in, they came back and they found traces of uranium when they would go in and inspect, and they find out they can't really trust them very much. But the snapback program was that if they had violated any of the agreements of the diplomacy that President Obama had put in place, that they could stop them at any time. And they didn't. They still continued to work on getting themselves a nuclear bomb. And then they were trying to restrict them as well. They didn't. They knew it was a failure. The first thing that Trump did when he got in there was got rid of that. And he said, this is, hold on. He got rid of it entirely and said, we're not going with this. And then he put sanctions on top of Iran. So he said they violated constantly. They cannot be trusted, just like Hillary Clinton said, you cannot trust Iran. So this has been in the sights of the entire Middle East, if not the world, for years and years and years and years. Now, did Trump rush in with Israel? Because that's what Joe says. But Israel has also worked with Clinton, worked with Obama, worked with Biden, especially with Biden as well, when they spoke at the UN. So this has been going on for a very, very long time. Trump was the guy that decided he was going to be the one that's going to pull the trigger and go in there and try to stop them because they cannot be trusted. And they have clearly defined what they believe their purpose in the world is, to wipe Israel off the map and death to America. So now here we go. But again, with the Colin Powell analogy of the Pottery Barn, they have broken it. Now what do they do to replace it? Now that's what we have to face. Right now, Iran is still firing away whatever missiles they have left, and they are closing off the Strait of Hormuz, which is the big problem. And now they are saying, well, listen, we'll just control the strait, and we'll determine who comes in and who doesn't come in, because we have enough proxies and still enough missiles and still enough bombs to blow up what we need to blow up. And now the strait is closed off, and they'll let this person through or that person through, but not the United States through. Go ahead.
Riddle me this, John. If Iran has been perpetually 2 weeks away, months away from building a nuclear weapon since 1982, and that's as far back as I could find sound from, and that's Bibi saying they're 2 weeks away, they're going to have one in a year, they're going to have one in 6 months, right, multiple times since 1982. And then in 2008, Obama basically cuts this, or whenever he cut the deal, when he was the president, and basically they could have done whatever they wanted. He gave him a couple billion in cash.
Right, big. Well, he said it wasn't a bribe and it wasn't hostage paying, but they had an American. Right, they dropped a pallet of cash down. Right. They took the money. And then they bought more stuff from Russia so they could build a nuclear bomb.
Okay, then where is the nuclear bomb? They had 8 years of Obama. Nobody could look at what they were doing. Mm-hmm. Where's their nuke? They had billions of dollars in cash. They could have bought one from anybody.
Well, we did. Nuke? This is pretty cool. So the Bush administration had the CIA and all these computer nerds build this little worm that somebody snuck into the Iran nuclear program. They went into the building and installed it in the computer system. And it started, I think, in 2005. And what it did is it quietly sat inside their computers. So as the centrifuges are spinning around, creating weapons-grade uranium, this thing sat there quietly. And for about a year, it just videotaped, to use this, clumsy analogy, it basically said, here are the centrifuges all working normally. They're all fine. It sat there quietly, and the Iranian nuclear scientists are, okay, everything's going well. They're spinning up. It's all going well. Well, this little thing sits inside their computer system. And then what happens, I think it was in 2007, it then sends a signal to the Iranian scientists that everything's working fine. But it wasn't working fine. It had released malware into their system that was spinning up the centrifuges and destroying them. It was working. Now, what happened was the nuclear scientists were looking at saying, it looks like everything's fine. What it was seeing was all the stuff that the worm had been videotaping prior to the destruction of their centrifuges. Then all of a sudden, they're like, wait a minute, something's really wrong. They look in there. The centrifuges are all screwed up. They're all burning up. They shut it all down. Right at the time when Bush was leaving the White House, he went to Obama and said, listen, we stuck this thing in there. It's been in there, and it's been working really well. Please leave it in place. They don't know it's there. And it's really important for us to destroy their ability from inside without them knowing it. And Obama agreed to leave it in place, to not do anything about it. Well, about 2009, I think, they all of a sudden discovered it. And they're like, holy moly, what the hell is this thing? They find the worm, they find the malware, they pull it out of their system, and it has done some serious damage to their ability to build a nuclear bomb. They then take the thing, and then they are able to deconstruct the worm and the malware that we created, and they repurposed it and blasted it into the United States and stuck it in some of our banking institutions, and were able to get in and destroy a couple of things that we had here in the United States. They actually used the same device that we used against them. So we slowed them down. In 2004, prior to 2004, they agreed that they were going to stop. A new president is elected in Iran, and he says, screw that, we're going again. So they had about a 4-year pause or a 3-year pause. The new president comes in, says, no, we're not abiding by that, starts it back up again. We sneak some dude in there who screws up their computers, and then these computers were screwed up from 2004, 2005, all the way up to about 2009 when we realized, oh, my God, they caught us on it. But we set them back about 7 or 8 years because of our ability to get into their computers. So we are constantly interfering with their chance to be able to create a nuclear bomb.
Why haven't they bought one?
Where are you going to buy one? Pakistan?
Pakistan has nukes, right?
Well, they did. They bought this certain type of uranium, liquid helium or something from China. That's what got them started in 2002, 2003. So they did. They got some of that, the initial ingredients that they needed from China. But we've also been able to stop a lot of their transfers of the chemicals that they needed from China. They got to get some of that. And we've been able to stop some of it because China doesn't want them to have it either. But we've constantly been delaying them in their program.
What would they do with a nuke? They know that if they launch a nuclear weapon at any country, they're going to get wiped off the face of the planet.
Do they care?
Yes, they care. Of
Do
course
they really?
They care.
Yes. Is this the same government that puts snipers on the roof and kills their own citizens?
That doesn't mean they want themselves eradicated.
You go to heaven. You get a lot of virgins. You get 70 virgins. 70. If you stretch it out, that could last you like 7 years.
Come on.
What do you really believe that the world would be a better place if Iran had a nuclear weapon?
No, I just don't think that. I don't think that's the reason we're there, and I don't think that they were anywhere near having one.
Okay.
They don't want to. It's mutually assured destruction. They're not going to nuke Israel and then think they're going to get away with it.
Mm-hmm. So fire it off first, sneak it out. No one.
Fire what
there
off?
is not
one
sane country in the world that wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Not one,
including Iran.
No, Iran wants a nuclear weapon.
That's what we've been saying for 42 years. Why don't they have one?
Because I just told you, we've been able to slow them down and stop them. That's why.
Kool-Aid.
There's a crazy book. I got to read it. It's all about, I forget the name of that device that they stuck in there.
There's a movie about it, too.
What's it called?
I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. You don't need to read a book. Go watch a movie.
It is.
Oh,
maybe it didn't have a title.
Oh.
Oh, it did. It has a certain title. You know, somebody's listening right now that knows exactly what I'm talking about. 1-888-973-5476. Here comes Nate. Check your traffic.
Yep, Seattle to Everett, 1 hour. It is solid from Northgate all the way through Mill Creek. Express lanes at Lake City Way, we have a stall blocking the right lane, and you're backed up to 520. Bellevue to Everett, an hour, 20 minutes. It's slow from mid-Bellevue all the way to the Alderwood interchange. South 405 in Bellevue at 520. A crash is still blocking most of the off-ramp to 520. You're going to have to slow way down and kind of weave your way between a couple cars to access 520, but it can still be done. So the backup starts at Northeast 60th, and it doesn't let up until you're well into Renton. So Bellevue to Renton is a half hour. North 5 to downtown Seattle is going to take you 50 minutes. It is bumper to bumper from the Michigan Curve all the way across the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5 slows at Lake City Way to the West Seattle Bridge. Seattle to Federal Way, we've improved. We're down to a 50-minute commute. It is thick, though, from the Duwamish Curve all the way to 516. It's a 1 hour commute on the Valley Freeway still between Renton and Puyallup, and you're pretty solid along the entire stretch. Tacoma to Olympia, a 50-minute drive. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Some firms discuss taxes at high levels. Others integrate CPA professionals intended to create a more coordinated planning process. You know what Madrona Financial and CPAs do? They combine it. They combine the CPA with firm investment advisories all under one roof. And that's really matters. You see, with major federal legislation evolving and ongoing Washington state income tax and estate tax changes, the rules are just shifting all the time. And when rules change, it can become more expensive for you. So tax planning involves more than just selecting a financial product. It requires a qualified professional who understands how the law applies to your situation before decisions are made. For more information about this, because it can get complicated, but I'll tell you, no one does a better job of explaining options for you and best directions for you like MadronaFinancial.com. 833-673-7373. Madrona Financial and CPAs. Informed planning starts right there at 833-673-7373.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
With Guardian Roofing Gutters and Insulation, maintenance is the key to a long-lasting roof. Need an inspection, repair, restoration, moss removal, or just a cleanup? Call us today. Our first-time customers can save $99. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
April is a great time to grow your connection to nature. From native fir trees in your backyard to a thriving patch of flowers or a walk through your local arboretum, Sky Nursery supports your gardening journey with quality plants, supplies, and local knowledge. Visit skynursery.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. Make the arrival of spring even sweeter with a healthy, relaxing saltwater soak every night. During our Sweet Spring Savings event, you can save up to $3,000 on the hot tub of your dreams. Experience the incredible wellness benefits of natural salt water right in your own backyard. Ends April 14th. Learn more at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Oil isn't the only resource hit hard by global events. American farmers are sounding the alarm by fertilizer prices at planting season. Will this disrupt our food supply? Raising prices cause shortages? I'm not waiting to find out, and neither should you. Go to mypatriotsupply.com, get a 3-month emergency food supply. They'll include $200 worth of extra survival protein absolutely free. After serving more than 3 million American families since 2008, you can trust mypatriotsupply.com. Go to mypatriotsupply.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The John Curley Show.
I can't wait till I get a little older, be the really crotchety old guy, getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we know the key to a long-lasting roof is yearly maintenance. Need an inspection, repair, restoration, moss removal, or just a cleanup? You can trust Guardian's licensed, insured, and expertly trained team. We offer free estimates, second opinions, and financing, giving you the peace of mind your home deserves. Call today. Our first-time customers can save $99 on our award-winning roof repair and cleaning service. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
CBS News special report. According to the NASA live stream, the moon-bound astronauts have arrived safely in Earth's orbit after the rocket lifted off at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time.
The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
If all goes according to plan, the crew, Commander Reed Weissman, pilot Victor Glover, and mission specialists Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen will get an unprecedented view of the far side of the moon and set a record for the farthest distance ever traveled from Earth, 252,000 miles. People around the country are at watch parties, including this man at Seattle's Museum of Flight.
It's awe and pride, and I've been a space fanatic since I was very tiny, and to be able to see us go back to circle the moon, the first crewed flight in 50 years, it's stunning.
CBS News special report. I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
And I'm Aaron Gornillo. As you just heard, a lot of excitement there at the Museum of Flights. Hundreds of people joining to watch the launch. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson is also there.
We saw families of all ages here, adults who watched Apollo missions from generations ago. They wanted to bring the kids in to watch this for the first time, one of the first missions that they have seen.
Are you excited to be here?
Yeah.
And what makes you so excited?
Well, that they were doing it all around the moon.
I've always really loved space history. I think that it's very exciting to hear about creativity and exploration.
More than 40 Washington companies are involved in this.
Those aerospace companies, including Boeing, L3 Harris in Redmond, and Karman Space and Defense in Mukilteo. President Trump is going to address the nation tonight. About 90 minutes from now, he'll be updating the country on the war in Iran. CBS's Tina Kraus with a preview.
Ahead of his primetime address to the nation, President Trump claimed Iran has asked for a ceasefire.
Iran kids.
An assertion Iran state media called false and baseless. In a social media post, the president said a ceasefire would be considered, quote, when Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. Until then, we are blasting Iran into oblivion.
And again, the president's address is set to start at 6 o'clock. We will carry it live. For now, let's go to the real-time traffic desk. Check in with Nate Connors.
All right, it is busy out there, Aaron. Lake Washington Windows and Doors has our update. Seattle to Everett inched up to an hour and 5-minute commute. It's solid from Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. The express lanes at Lake City Way, we've still got a disabled vehicle blocking your right lane, so you're backed up bumper to 520. Bellevue to Everett, hour 15. It's packed from Kirkland all the way to that Alderwood interchange. Everett to Marysville is a 15-minute trip. You're slow from the Boeing Freeway all the way up to 529. South 405 at 520. A crash is still blocking most of the off-ramp to 520. You can still access 520, but you're going to do a little weaving between these cars. The backup starts at Northeast 60th and Kirkland. Doesn't let up till you hit the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton's going to take you a half hour. North 5 through downtown Seattle's a 50-minute commute, and it is really thick from the Michigan Curve all the way across the Ship Canal Bridge. Northbound 99, we're seeing stop-and-go volumes from East Marginal Way all the way to South Lake Union, and South 5 into Seattle slows at 80th to the West Seattle Bridge. Linwood to Seattle is going to take you a half hour. Get 20% off energy-efficient windows plus $1,000 off whole home projects. 18 months, no payments, no interest. Ends April 15th. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Seeing some widespread rain across the map today and some light showers tomorrow, drying out by Friday and setting up for a nice, dry weekend. Right now, 48 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Spring showers? Yeah, right. More like spring sprinkles, downpours, hailstorms, cold snaps, flooding, and sometimes even a little sun. Spring in Western Washington changes day to day, even hour to hour. That's why you need experts who have decades of experience and the right tools to keep you weather ready. Watch KIRO 7 Pinpoint Weather Forecasts in every newscast and on the KIRO 7 apps for your phone or TV.
Bucky's can't tell where the song's going. Bucky's. We need a girl singing. Bucky's.
I don't think I can help on this one. What is this?
All right.
You'll be saying that a lot.
16 locations around over 50 years. That was a crappy song.
No, that was good.
No, it's not good.
Oh my gosh.
I need that kind of R&B 70s kind of. Doesn't matter. It's too late now. It's Bucky's Auto Service Centers. They've been around for 50 years. They got 16 locations.
I'm trying my best here.
I know you're doing.
That was a perfect one. He's just out of it.
All right,
no,
no, I'm not upset.
Yeah.
Just living with Mr. Rabbit Hole over here.
Rabbit Hole. It's true.
No, don't start it. Yeah, don't start it.
We need a break.
Montgomery Casino Resort text line 1-888-973-5476. All are welcome. By the way, I don't want to give another number of the other one. Skip the voicemail thing.
All right, fine.
Let's see. The Supreme Court appears skeptical of Trump's efforts to end the birthright citizenship. This is, you just see in the questioning of the thing. By the way, he's sitting there, and they're like, "Oh, this is the first time the president's ever done this." Robert Kennedy when he was the Attorney General, he sat in there one time and listened. What the problem is that they should just throw this back to Congress and tighten this sort of stuff up, because the question is subjective to the jurisdiction thereof. Like, for instance, let's say a woman from Europe is going to be flying to China, and the plane is diverted somehow, and she's pregnant, and she lands in the United States and gives birth to the kid there in the United States. Is that kid a U.S. citizen? She has no intention. She lands there, has the baby there. The kid's feet never touch the ground in the United States. She was supposed to be flying somewhere else, but because the plane has to make an emergency landing for her to land, is that kid a U.S. citizen? The answer would be no. But that's an example of that's, you're born here. But then, put that one aside, it's a little bit of a ridiculous example, but only to prove a point. Then you say, okay, if somebody is in the country illegally, they've come in and they're not a U.S. citizen, they come in here to the country, they have the kid, is that kid a U.S. citizen? Does that kid get all the rights? The question should be answered by Congress. And I'm thinking that's what the Supreme Court will kick back and say the president did this, and you can't do this. Send it back to Congress. They have the right. I think it's the fourth article. I forget what's included in there. The Congress should just be able to tighten up some of the language on this sort of stuff and give a clearer direction for what the law should be. But it shouldn't be the president of the United States going ahead with another executive order or this or that. I mean, still my favorite guy with the most amount of executive orders was
FDR.
That's right. I love this story.
Trump's got to be getting close to this point.
No way.
Really?
Oh, no. FDR, more than 3,000. You know, in 1919 in Newport, Newport Navy Yard, they found out a lot of the sailors were kind of getting on with themselves. Not themselves, with each other.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then the Assistant Secretary of the Navy decides he's got a plan. So he hires 13 really good-looking dudes and dresses them up like sailors and says, go around and, have nookie with as many of these sailors as you possibly can and then report back to us.
Okay.
You didn't know about this?
No.
Oh, Mr. Rabbit Hole. Unaware of what happened back in 1919.
So wait, the sailors were...
So they get word that the sailors are a little too...
they're lonely.
Yes.
They find comfort in each other.
Yes.
And this is all male sailors.
Yes.
Okay.
1919.
Right.
So then the Assistant Secretary of the Navy says, I got a plan. Let's hire a bunch of good-looking guys and send them in there and have them sleep with a bunch of other guys and then report back to us and let us know, what's going on. Give us your body count.
Okay.
As the kids say.
Yes.
Right?
Well done.
Yeah.
And
what? I'm sorry. Who was the Assistant Secretary of the Navy?
FDR.
Roosevelt. Oh. That was his big plan. That's right. Let's get the guys to get it on. And then let's go ahead and become president of the United States, and let's go ahead and have more than 3,000 executive orders.
So I'm unclear as to his goal. He just wanted to confirm that the sailors were...
No, he just wanted to watch. No, he just wanted to see if it was happening. And yeah, it was. Yeah, they reported back. They're like, yeah.
Wonder how much that gig paid.
Okay, would you be involved in that? I mean, would you
How much we talking?
$19 Honestly.
Everybody's got a price. What?
Well, let's figure out your price.
Okay. Lay one on me.
Okay, so you understand what the job is?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, this is so weird.
It might be your fault, John, for bringing up this 1919 story.
Yes.
About
this is about Roosevelt. This is not, but now all of a sudden we're into Joe selling his body. Right? Got a little bit of music.
You were a gigolo for a year and a half.
That's a big difference between just going around trying to get sailors.
Yeah, whatever.
No, it's not at all completely. It's not at all. I was in a loving relationship. I didn't know that it was looked down upon by the rest of society. I didn't realize that. And I'm not saying, listen, if you're gay or straight, whatever it is, but you're basically saying, hire me. I assume you're straight. Yes. I don't know if you're bi all of a sudden, but apparently your sexuality is for sale. Okay, let's throw some numbers out. For every guy that you...
Okay,
you're going to go per guy? You're going to go per hour, per week?
Just one.
One what?
One encounter.
Find one. I don't know. How about $1,000?
No, come on.
All right, 500.
No.
200.
No, I mean, up. You're going the wrong direction.
I thought you thought 1,000 was way too much.
No.
$10,000.
No.
Wow, 50?
I'd give it some thought. $1 million and I'm yours.
No, you stopped at 50.
I said I would think about it. Times are tight.
Look at Andrew in there. Look at Andrew's like, what the hell?
We're starting to get close to the FCC borders on talking about this kind of.
This is
it's a little bit.
This was the president that everybody loves.
What?
This is Roosevelt's idea. We're going back to 1919, before the FCC.
I don't like FDR either, but I'm not talking about.
I'm not. Joe brought it up.
You were the gigolo. Come on.
Will you stop with that? It's not even. You can't even compare the two.
Now you know.
Thank you, Andrew. Oh, my God.
You were called a Tuesday boy.
Here goes Nate checking traffic.
Seattle Sports has the update. Seattle to Everett, an hour and 5-minute commute this afternoon. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 15. The express lanes of Lake City Way, we still got a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane, and that's got you backed up almost to Mercer. Everett to Marysville, once you get up there, is a 15-minute trip. It's crowded from the Boeing Freeway up to 529, but we're getting close to freeway speeds here. South 405 at 520, they're slowly making progress with this crash, blocking most of the off-ramp to 520, but it's still blocking. You can still access 520, but you got to slow way down and kind of weave your way in between the scene here. So the backup starts at Northeast 60th and Kirkland. It doesn't clear till you're well into Renton. North 5 through downtown Seattle's a 50-minute drive. Northbound 99, stop and go from East Marginal Way to South Lake Union. And South 5, we're slow from 80th to the West Seattle Bridge. Linwood to Seattle, plan on a half hour. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I'll tell you something. I know what it's like. The hair begins to thin, then the crown disappears. The next thing you know, the hair loss starts to just rob you of your identity. That's how I felt before I visited Advanced Hair. See, Advanced Hair has got a simple one-day treatment. And they regrew my own natural hair. They do the exact same thing for you. Because if you're someone that happens to be looking in the mirror occasionally, or perhaps your comb, or perhaps the floor of the shower, and you notice there's a whole bunch of hair there that's not coming back. It's not leaving a forwarding address. It's simply going away. And you are facing being bald, and you don't want a comb over. You don't want a toupee. You don't want a collection of hats. You just want your hair back. Do the exact same thing that I did, say, 13 years ago. You set up a free consultation and give you $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. All you got to do, give them a call at 425-449-8185. And you don't want to wait because your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year 2 years in a row. So give them a call, 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
The deadline for filing taxes is coming up. Donate your car to Cars for Kids for a 2026 tax deduction. Go to carsforkids.org today. That's cars with a K.
That's good. You all right in there, Andrew? Sorry about that.
That is the most off the rails I think we've ever gone on this show.
That's Joe did that.
Really?
Whose name is on the show again?
I don't know, but I can't stop him. Okay. Where's the thing about where they fly into Kid Rock's house? You have that?
Yeah, should be in there.
Maybe you're too busy thinking of it. Oh, thank you. All right, so on Saturday, Kid Rock was greeted at his Nashville home there by U.S. Army Apache helicopters, resulting in the Army investigation.
This morning, the Army launching an administrative review into why 2 Apache attack helicopters performed a low-altitude maneuver in front of the Nashville, Tennessee home of Kid Rock over the weekend. This video showing a helicopter hovering over Kid Rock's pool and another doing a flyby above it, as the singer, standing next to a replica of the Statue of Liberty, is seen clapping and then saluting the crew before they fly away. Kid Rock speaking to ABC affiliate WKRN.
I think they're going to be all right. My buddy's commander-in-chief. I mean, what are they looking into? They stopped for, I don't know, seconds, a minute? Maybe they were here 3-4 minutes, just saying what's up, went on.
In a statement, the Army saying Army aviators must adhere to strict safety standards, professionalism, and established flight regulations. Appropriate action will be taken if any violations are found.
So, what does Secretary of War say?
The suspensions of 2 U.S. Army helicopter pilots who hovered next to Kid Rock's house in Tennessee have been lifted. That's according to...
What's lifted?
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. This is video from last weekend. Hegseth said in a social media post, quote, "There is no punishment, no investigation," end quote. The crews of the 2 Apache helicopters were initially suspended from flying pending an investigation.
Okay. Didn't Tom Cruise fly over somebody's house or something like that in one of those shows, one of those movies? Didn't he fly too close to the tower?
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Yes, he buzzed the tower of the aircraft carrier that they were launching from.
Okay. Well, there you go.
That was Maverick in a movie.
So Maverick. Was that 1 or 2?
That was 1, although I think they did it again in 2.
Oh, amazing. Really? They repeated the same garbage they did in 1?
It was basically the same movie.
My son and I walked out of 2.
Really?
Yeah. I turned to Rye and I said, I can't take this movie. And I said, I'll tell you what, we're leaving if either one of us can predict the next line almost verbatim from one of the characters. We're sitting in there, and I think it was a scene in the bar. I forget what it was. And I got it, exactly what the guy was going to say. And Rye goes, good, we can leave. Got up and left.
You were probably the only two who left during that movie.
Garbage movie. I mean, how insulting that film was. Oh, let's get the Hispanic gal, and then the Asian guy, and then the black guy, and the white guy, and they're all around there, and then the pool table, and then the one guy that thinks he's cool. I mean, it's like, come on.
You say it like it's the only movie that's ever done that.
No, but it's like so insulting. You're sitting there. You can tell. The people that wrote it were like, this will be good enough for those people. These morons that pay this money and sit in there will just. We'll just pick a big pile of garbage and throw it. Oh, this is entertaining.
What were you expecting?
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting. I had a pretty good idea that it was going to suck, but I didn't know it would suck that hard.
I need to talk. I'm texting Rye because the fact that you would even go into a movie theater is a little.
It was at it was over the Roslyn Theater. We had gone over to Logan's. We had a nice chicken sandwich.
Well, that's why they have terrible sound in that theater.
Oh, excuse me. My friends own the place. Why don't I just send you to the Navy with old Mr. Jackrabbit over here?
I'll be down there.
Give me some Kid Rock. Get us out of here with a little Kid Rock. What do you got?
If I don't survive, I'll fall free.
Nick partied with him one night. Never come in and tell that story. Joe? Never
Did she leave halfway through?
Heard it.
Moving on. All right, you girls today checking traffic.
Seattle to Everett, up to an hour, 5 minutes, just solid from Northgate into Mill Creek. We cleared our stall from the express lanes at Lake City Way, so that'll start opening up for you. Bellevue to Everett, hour 10. You're packed from Kirkland all the way to that Alderwood interchange. South 405 at 520. We still have this crash blocking most of the off-ramp to 520. You can still access 520, but you got to slow way down, and you're in a single lane weaving your way through this crash scene. North 5 through downtown Seattle's at 50 minutes. It is solid from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, plan on 35 to 40 minutes on both 520 and 990. Seattle to Federal Way is a 50-minute drive, and Renton to Puyallup southbound 167 has improved to 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. You know, Dave, I love sport. You love sport. And I love sitting with coaches and hearing their game plan each and every week. What are the keys to a First Mark Insurance game plan?
It's a great question, Brock. I think there's really three keys to a great game plan with us. Number one is we want to make sure that our clients have the correct coverage for their unique specific needs. So that's number one. Do you have the right coverage? Number two, once we have the right coverage, are we getting that coverage at the most competitive price possible? And then last and not least would be, once we have the right coverage at the most competitive price, are we providing world-class service to those customers so that when they need it, they have someone there that's got their back?
Those are the 3 keys to a First Mark Challenge victory. And man, am I so glad Molly and I took the challenge. We are one of so many through a decade plus of being a First Mark Challenge victory. You can too. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
Your new home for Tesla, EV, and hybrid maintenance is A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue with dealer-level diagnostics, electrical, mechanical, and suspension repairs. Find A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue online at myevpros.com or 425-96 EV Fix.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Artemis 2 astronauts are bound for the moon, as heard on NASA TV.
Integrity, GPS processing.
Outstanding, Stan. We see the same, and we have a beautiful moonrise. We're headed right at it.
The 32-story moon rocket blasted off from Florida's Kennedy Space Center last hour, carrying 3 Americans and 1 Canadian. More from CBS's Christian Benavides at Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
This is the first crewed mission to the moon since 1972. It's planned as a 9.5-day mission, passing the far side of the moon.
If all goes well, the astronauts will see and photograph regions of the moon never seen by human eyes.
The nearly 10-day mission will see them fly around the moon and set a distance record before coming home. 1 hour from now, President Trump will deliver an address to the nation. CBS White House reporter Linda Kenyon has details.
The White House says President Trump will discuss Operation Epic Fury, which it describes as a decisive campaign of American strength that is systematically dismantling the Iranian regime's ability to threaten the United States and the free world. Ahead of the speech, the president said Iran's president has asked for a ceasefire, something Tehran has flatly denied.
Some news from the UK about President Trump.
President Trump has told the Telegraph newspaper here that he's seriously considering pulling the USA out of NATO over the allies' reluctance to join the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran, a sentiment he echoed in a separate phone interview with the Reuters news agency. Trump referred to the alliance, co-founded by the U.S. in the ashes of post-war Europe, a paper tiger, and said Russian President Putin sees it that way too.
That's CBS's Vicki Barker reporting. The Supreme Court has heard arguments on the legality of President Trump's executive order that would ban birthright citizenship. Solicitor General John Sauer argued the 14th Amendment's clause was adopted to grant citizenship to freed slaves and their children, not to children born to people who are here illegally or temporarily. Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
The proponents of both acts said everyone who's born in the U.S. will be citizens.
And Justice Neil Gorsuch seems skeptical of the administration's argument.
Why wouldn't we, even if we were to apply your own test, come to the conclusion that the fact that someone might be illegal is immaterial?
A 7.4 magnitude offshore quake has struck in the Molucca Sea region northeast of Indonesia, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. A tsunami alert has been issued along the coasts of Indonesia, the Philippines, and Malaysia. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Mornings.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
Coming up, Washington's role in sending NASA back to the moon. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. In Bellevue, our collision southbound 405 at the 520 exit has been cleared to both shoulders, so the exit lanes are back open. Just be sure to slow that roll as we still have cars on site here. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 10. It's packed from Kirkland all the way to the Alderwood interchange, and then you'll join the northbound I-5 backup. Seattle to Everett, an hour 5 minutes. Your backup starts in Northgate all the way into Mill Creek. North 5 from the south end heading into downtown. It is solid now from the north end of Boeing Field across the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 55 minutes to get through this. Northbound 99 is now heavy from East Marginal Way to South Lake Union. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, 35 to 40 minutes on both 520 and I-90. Seattle to Federal Way, a 50-minute drive. It's solid from the Duwamish Curve past 516. And Tacoma to Olympia, pushing an hour at 55 minutes. You've got a thick backup to JBLM. More slowing heading into Olympia. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. Artemis 2 now on a historic mission to the moon. Hundreds joined today at the Museum of Flight in Seattle to watch the launch.
I was 4 years old when the last crew was out, so for me it's just a feeling of joy and utter delight and pride in this huge scientific community.
41 Washington aerospace companies supply parts to the Artemis program. Washington U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell visited L3 Harris in Redmond, where rocket thrusters are built.
That's why the mayor of Redmond calls it the Space District. But we are producing various products that make this mission successful.
Other companies involved in the mission include Boeing and Mukilteo's Karman Space and Defense. A 2-year-old in Tacoma is recovering today after getting shot. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports that toddler was taken to a hospital.
Tacoma police say it happened just before 9:30 near South Steele Street and 96th Street South. Fortunately, the toddler was taken to the hospital and last reported in stable condition. About 2 hours after the shooting, police located and arrested 2 suspects, one on suspicion of first-degree assault, the other suspected of rendering criminal assistance. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
2 more measles cases have been identified in King County. KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horka reports they're both connected to international travel.
The adults were told traveled together overseas. That's likely where they were exposed to the virus. We do not know whether the 2 people had been vaccinated, but we do know they visited 2 Kirkland restaurants, Vovina and Ristorante Paradiso, and that happened on March the 21st. They then went to several medical centers across that region.
We'll put up a list of the places they visited at mynorthwest.com. And Washington is joining a global health network run by the World Health Organization to help the state track and respond to disease outbreaks. Governor Bob Ferguson announcing the state will become part of the Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network. It connects health experts around the world. The move comes after the U.S. withdrew from the WHO. Now to your forecast. We have showers tonight and light rain for tomorrow, drying out by Friday. Right now, 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
This is
Thank
normal
you.
because I got John Braun waiting to come
We
on.
get anybody yelling around here anymore today.
Okay.
And then the is going to hit the fan.
Okay. All right. No more of that anymore. Here we go, everybody. The John Curley Show. Montgomery Casino Resort text line at 1-888-973-5476. All are welcome. Diving in and out. Here we go. Senator John Braun, there you are. All right. Must be cold where you are. You got your coat on. Will you turn the heat down to save electricity?
That's right. You got to be thrifty. Stay in business out here.
Thrifty? Coming from a senator in Olympia, that's words we hardly ever hear, but that's not unusual for you, my friend. You watch every dollar that goes out the door. Looks like the auditor report reveals systemic failure. Oh, boy. Misplaced priorities at DCYF. Senator, what have you found?
Well, I didn't find it. I'm just talking about what the auditor found, and frankly, good for them. But it's really bad news. They found that, our agency, one of our agencies, Department of Children, Youth, and Families, they audit a very small portion of the payments they make. They make thousands of payments every year, and found alarming problems with overpayment, both in the quantity of overpayment and the amount of money. I mean, just put it in perspective. They audited $10 million. Now, this is an agency that spends billions of dollars, but auditing $10 billion found over $2 million in overpayments. If you extrapolate that out, that could be hundreds of millions of dollars in overpayments.
Yeah, no, the payments come both from the federal government, and the state of Washington kicks in as well. I think the federal government kicks in about $236 million or something, and then the state of Washington supplements that as well. And I tried to find out the total amount that Washington kicks in, and I Washington State, and I didn't get the exact number. But there are, we know that this has been happening in Minneapolis. We know that Ohio is also being caught up in this fraud. So what actions are taken now after they find just a small percentage of systemic failure?
Well, sadly, it's not clear to me yet that they're taking any actions. Their immediate response was, hey, we need more money so that we can do a better job of auditing ourselves, which is absolutely insane. This is an agency that has grown by hundreds of employees over the last few years. It's got an administrative group that's over 500 people. It's got a government affairs group that's 22 people, and yet they can only seem to afford 6 people to audit their books. That just seems like wrong priorities. And the idea that we should send them more money to audit themselves because they're doing such a poor job is maddening, I would say.
When you hear from your constituents, you're walking through the supermarket or on Sunday or something, do they say to you, John, like, come on, get the act together there? We hear from the governor. We hear from all the rest on the other side of the aisle. We desperately need more money. We've got to have more money. We've got to fill this gap. We've done everything we possibly can, and we just need more of your money. So we're going to come up with an illegal income tax. Do you sense that sort of that the fever of the constituent is reaching a point where they are beside themselves?
Yeah, I don't sense it. I can tell you it's absolutely true. As I talk to folks around my district and around the state, there's this deep frustration, but I would call it more than that. I don't almost call it anger. I mean, these are folks who, get up every day, they go to work, they provide for their families, they support their community, and then they look around me and they're like, am I the fool? Because other people are just taking advantage of the system and getting free money. And it's deeply frustrating, maddening, to people who are just trying to do the right thing, and they see people not following the rules and getting a free pass.
Yeah, as my dad always used to say, do people do what you inspect or what you expect? What do you think the answer is, Senator?
Well, I think you got to, I think there's some truth to both, but I don't think you get one without the other is the bottom line.
Right.
If you don't hold folks accountable, you're not going to get what you expect. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I'm going to play for you a couple of cuts. This is State Senator, State Rep Laura Jenkins when she was being asked by Carlene Johnson, a reporter, about the fact that Carlene was going and knocking on doors of some of these daycare centers.
I think, Carlene, what my point is you may have the right to do that. It's not right to do that. We have systems in Washington State that people should report fraud to. At the same time, that all of this is going on, we have people being scooped up off of the street.
Okay, now we go to ICE, right? Okay.
We have a former speaker in Minnesota who opened the door to what she thought was a law enforcement agent.
Okay, the rest is garbage. When asked, as Carlene Johnson said, I'm knocking at these doors and there's no one there. There's no sign. There's no evidence that there's any kids there, but yet they're getting thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I'll play another cut for you. Senator, this is from KOMO News Investigator. This is Chris Daniels, both Representative Jenkins and Governor Ferguson, if they would support an independent audit.
Would you support an outside audit? And if the answer is no, why not?
As you know, Chris, take fraud pretty seriously. We literally send someone to each child care provider in person every single year, at least one time a year. That happens every year in our state to every single provider.
These suggestions about fraud with really no basis yet. Last year, they did 29,000 consumer audits. They did 1,400 provider audits, finding no widespread abuse. Now, you can ask the state auditor to go ahead and check on that, but to cavalierly suggest that there is some kind of fraud going on when we have been doing that kind of work, I think is unfair to child care providers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I wonder if State Representative Laura Jenkins would change her tune now with the evidence that has just come out from this very, very small audit. So what's the next step for you, Senator? What do you do after you find this?
Yeah, so one thing I want to, before I jump into that, I want to say, look, the speaker's being dishonest there. We have had insider reports from the agency about potential for fraud for years. The idea that there are no credible reports of their fraud is just disingenuous, is the nicest way to say it. But she's being dishonest. And to your question, the next step is exactly what we're doing right here, to make it more public and make people realize that it's not just an idea of a problem. We actually have an audit now. It demands more action, because unless we get more public pressure on this, the speaker, the governor, everybody in the Democratic Party that's running our state, they're going to look the other way. They don't want to deal with this. They'd rather, wave their hands and try and blame it on the federal government, when in fact this is entirely a state government failure to keep track of the money they spend. Does at a certain point, enough smoke come up that the folks in Washington, D.C. that are writing the checks primarily, the $236 million or something close to that, do they eventually come in and go, wait a minute, that's federal dollars and you're being irresponsible with those dollars. We are coming in to investigate. It's only a matter of time. I mean, this is clear, and they have a responsibility. They have their own set of budget challenges in D.C., right? So it's not crazy partisan for them to be concerned that money is being wasted, that they're sending a check for. So yeah, it's just a matter of time until they weigh in and say, look, Washington State, explain yourself. In fact, they have started to do that in some areas. I think this will push that even further. Right. They've gone into Minnesota. Apparently they're going to go into Ohio as well, because that's federal dollars. And if you're not treating them with the respect that you're supposed to be treating them with, then they want to know where it's going. In this case, in the state of Washington, I guess they're next in line. And we'll hear people on the left side of the aisle, oh, well, this is Trump administration coming in here and trying to intimidate, good, hardworking Somali immigrants or whoever it is that happens to be running these daycare centers. I always get the impression. I remember when I served for on the city council in Sammamish, and I remember one time we had a money that came before us, and I voted no on it. And one of the council members said to me, "What do you care? It's federal dollars." We all pay for that. I mean, of course we should care. I mean, we should all care. That's just you couldn't be further off base. I know. This is the crazy thing that the speaker and others have said. They're like, oh no, all of a sudden they're going to cut back on federal dollars, where that money comes from our own taxpayers. Why would we not want a program to be well run, whether it's federal or state? Nobody gets up in the morning and said, oh, it's okay to have a poorly run government program. Well, apparently some folks in the Democratic majority think that, but they shouldn't. And normal people don't think that. Yeah. We had Travis Couture on, Representative Couture, on the other day, and I asked him, I said, what happened to your suggestion? You had presented a budget, and I'm sure you saw it as well, Senator. I think he said $4.3 billion, I think it was, that he said I could present a budget, and then these cuts would go in place, and we wouldn't have to increase any taxes. And I said, what happened to that thing? I mean, if you could present something and say, look, here's a bunch of money-saving cuts. We still provide the services, the essential services, but there's a whole bunch of fat all over this bone, and let's take a good look at it. Does that type of talk, is that just dead on arrival there in Olympia? Well, they tend to dismiss it. I mean, both the Senate put out what we call the Save Washington budget last year, so you wouldn't have to raise this taxes like they did a year ago. Travis had a framework for a budget this year that did essentially the same thing. And Here's the thing. Yeah, they downplay it. They undermine it. They look the other way. And then eventually when they, can't raise taxes enough, they eventually come back and they take a few ideas, but not until they, look the other way and they raise taxes as a first result. I mean, they have this tax first strategy. Every problem in their view can be fixed by more taxes and more money. And their first response is never better government. And that's where they should be focused. There's so much opportunity to save money in state government, still deliver the services that are needed by the state. We're not arguing that we don't have a role to provide services. We're just arguing that you ought to do it in a way that's cost effective, that actually meets the needs of the citizens and doesn't drive our economy into the dumper.
Yeah. I got to tell you, every time I hear somebody use the word investment, I throw up in my mouth. It's not an investment. You have to understand how economics works. Let's talk a little bit out into the future and get some predictions here, and I won't hold you to it. Travis said that he said because of this tax increase, this income tax, he said, I think there'll be three reactions to it. And the one I want to speak to specifically, he said, at this is the breaking point. And now the voters will be far more respectful of their money, and they will start to put candidates in place that don't vote for unconstitutional actions like this income tax. Do you think in a couple of years you'll have more friends that see the world the same way you do?
I do think that's going to happen. I'm always cautious to dictate the timeline. I wake up every day positive we're going to get Washington back on track, just maybe not on my schedule, because they can't do otherwise. People can no longer afford to live here in the state of Washington. They are deeply frustrated. I think we've done a good job of providing alternatives to the path that Democrats have taken over the last many years. And I think eventually people are going to wake up and say, no more. We want to protect the future of our state for ourselves and our children and our communities. So, yeah, I remain optimistic. I am also always a little cautious on the timeline, but whether it's this year or in the next couple of years, it's going to happen. It's got to happen.
Senator Braun, how do you stay optimistic?
Well, you can't be in this business without being optimistic. And I think it's more hope than optimistic. I think hope's a good feature. And I just believe in human nature, and I believe humans get things wrong sometimes, but I think collectively there's a wisdom in the voters when they take the time to understand, and I see that as our job is to help them understand what's happening in our state and why it's happening. And if we do a good job of that, they're going to make good decisions long term.
So what actions will be taken regarding the audit? Will you ask for an expanded audit? Will we pull more than just 2% or 3% or the number that they looked at? Will you hear in response to that, well, we don't have the money for those audits. We need more money for the audits. What concrete steps will be taken to address what appears to be fraud?
Yeah, you're going to see a few different things from Republicans. You're going to see a demand that they make the adjustments. They put more auditors in place. They have the funding to do it. They have the flexibility to do that. If they don't do so, that's just looking the other way in the face of obvious misuse of money. The second thing you're going to see is demand by not just in this agency, but executive branch wide, that they be more public about what actions they're taking to combat fraud. Look, I think I've said this before. In many cases, we have what I call credible evidence of fraud, but we may not have proof yet. It demands investigation, and it demands investigation whether it's real or not. If it's real, there should be consequences. If it's not real, the public deserves to know, because there's just enormous loss of trust in state government. You don't get that trust back by just wishing it back. You get it back by actually going and doing the work and showing it publicly so people can understand, regardless of the outcome of the investigation.
Right.
So I think that's where you're going to see us push. One, more action immediately by the agency, and two, more transparent work broadly within the executive branch.
Yeah, I get the sense, and I feel this way. I don't mind paying the taxes. I'll pay it for the services. But the point that really boils the blood is when you hear about these stories and you think, well, they're just taking more of my money and people are stealing it. I mean, stealing it from me. And that's the point where you say, well, then something has to be done. So hopefully something will be done. Senator John Braun, thank you for spending some time with us. Certainly appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Okay, there he goes. Senator Braun, doing the work. And here comes Nate checking the traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. Bellevue to Everett and Seattle to Everett are both hour and 5-minute commutes. 405 is packed from South Bellevue all the way to the Alderwood interchange. I-5 is solid from Northgate in through Mill Creek. Now, Bellevue to Renton, we're down to 35 minutes, but it's still bumper to bumper from 520 down to the Renton Landing. It loosens up after Cold Creek Parkway. North 5 through Seattle downtown is a 50-minute drive, and it is bumper to bumper from the north end of Boeing Field across the Ship Canal Bridge. There are points in the heart of downtown where you are just parked. Northbound 99 heavy at Spokane Street up to South Lake Union. Seattle to Federal Way, a 50-minute commute. Federal Way to Tacoma, if you're continuing on, is another 25 minutes. It's slow from State Route 18 to State Route 16. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway is down to 45 minutes. And Tacoma to Olympia, plan on 50. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, oh, I don't know. What do the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are, as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Make this spring even sweeter with healthy saltwater soaks in a hot spring spa. During Olympic Sweet Spring Savings Event, save up to $3,000 on the hot tub of your dreams. Ends April 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple upgrades? Combine your projects and save even more. Or with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. You can start your project now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC, well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got 3 options. Number 1, sell your home. 2, get a HELOC or refinance. Or 3, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. Northwest News.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. According to Puget Sound Express naturalists, the Salish Sea is buzzing right now with Bigg's orcas. These apex predators are on the prowl for seals, sea lions, and porpoises. In the past week alone, tours observed more than 6 different orca families in action. Also, migrating sounder gray whales have been feeding in social groupings near Whidbey Island before resuming their journey to Alaska. Plus, humpback whales are starting to arrive as well. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale-watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of beautiful Port Townsend on the Olympic Peninsula. Orcas, gray whales, humpbacks, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
CBS News Brief. 2 stories making news this hour. First, in less than a half hour, President Trump is scheduled to speak to the nation, offering an update on the war with Iran. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
Even as the president says diplomacy is continuing, more military power is headed to the region with more than 6,000 sailors aboard the USS George H.W. Bush and its 3 destroyers.
Meantime, over 50 years in the making.
The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
NASA makes history with the Artemis II launch about 2 hours ago for a flyby of the moon. They've reached orbit and are on an almost 10-day-long mission. CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood.
I think it's a huge moment for NASA, a very dramatic first step in a revitalized moon program that the agency hopes will lead to regularly scheduled moon landings and eventually the establishment of a moon base.
CBS News Brief, I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
And I'm Aaron Granillo. People around the country were at watch parties today to witness the launch of Artemis II, including at the Museum of Flight in Seattle.
I was 4 years old when the last crew was out, so for me it's just it's a feeling of joy and utter delight and pride in this huge scientific community.
And today's launch marks the beginning of a 10-day journey around the moon and back to Earth. Farming advocates say this year's cherry harvest is being threatened by a spike in ice raids on Washington farms. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Rumors of ice raids shut down packing houses and processing facilities last year across central Washington, says Dylan Honcoop with Save Family Farms. This year, he says an uptick of actual raids threatens to do it again.
And when those things shut down, that fruit goes to waste. Farms and the entire operation loses thousands, if not millions of dollars. It's hugely damaging.
Honcoop says farmers in Western Washington are reporting workers being detained and sent to an ice facility in Tacoma, even if they have proper documentation. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Now to the real-time traffic desk. We check in with Nate Connors.
All righty, this one brought to us by Heritage Homecraft. Wet roads, fog in areas, standing water, and we are far from calling this commute yet. Still big backups across the board. Bellevue to Everett and Seattle to Everett are both hovering at 1 hour commutes. 405 is packed from South Bellevue all the way to that Alderwood interchange, and you're just barely scooting along through Kirkland. I-5 solid from Northgate into Mill Creek. Up in Everett, North 5 remains crowded between 526 and 528 heading into Marysville. Just under 20 minutes between Everett and Marysville. South 5 heading into Seattle slows from 85th into downtown. Linwood to Seattle is going to take you a half hour with more slowing in Linwood adding to this. North 5 through downtown Seattle is still 45 to 50 minutes. It is solid from the north end of Boeing Field across the Ship Canal Bridge. Northbound 99 bumper to bumper from the West Seattle Bridge all the way to South Lake Union. Seattle to Federal Way a 45-minute drive, and Tacoma to Olympia plan on 50 minutes. Heritage Homecraft will transform your kitchen in about a week. Way less mess, time, and expense than a tear-out. Call today and Heritage Homecraft will pay your sales tax. 425-485-1600. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Forecast, showers continuing for tonight. Some light rain tomorrow, drying out by Friday. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, it's been 5 days in a row when Teeny spins the gigantic wheel, and it has the names of all the players on it. It is brightly colored, and let's just hope Andrew's like, not me. All right, Teeny. It is totally random. We don't know what's going to happen.
I hope it lands on Aaron.
Oh, my. Hope it isn't Aaron. It wouldn't be terrible. Although, Aaron, maybe it does land on Aaron. Spinning around all the names of all the players. It is not, right past Nate and right to Aaron. All right. Well, I believe Aaron has got some sort of a recipe for us. Thank you, Teeny. Good spin on that. This is the Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe. And, of course, it's going to be in a leather-bound book. It's sent to your house on a weekly, if not monthly basis. You get a chance to try out some of the recipes that are made for you, or at least designed for you from all of our friends here. So, Aaron, what do you got? What do you come up with?
Lawns, roses, grapes, hops, pumpkin. I'm big on aliens.
All right. Okay. Well, there we go. Yum. Anything else you want to add? Anything?
Umami.
Ooh. All right. Can't go wrong with the umami.
Yes.
All right. There it is.
Sea salt.
And sea salt. Okay. Wow.
White meat extra moist.
Okay. You mentioned an egg would help. You got
egg in a hole.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Thank you.
Pollo asada.
I'm sorry, what?
Pollo asada.
Oh, okay. All right.
Juicy Palusi.
Thank you, Aaron.
Wow.
It gets it. Unless you have anything else you'd like to add.
Delish.
Okay, fine. There it is. There's your Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe. All right, for the day. All right. If you would like to help AI, here's a job for you. These are AI-based robotic companies. There's one called Micro One and Figure, and they're paying people to film themselves doing chores to help train the AI robot. Remember the story about 10 years ago or something or whatever it was? They said, this is not fair before the video starts. People would be brought in to train the replacement. Remember that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, this isn't fair. And the management's like, well, we need to train the guy who's doing your job. We're going to pay him a lot less. I mean, we're all upset about that. I can see that. That'd be a horrible thing. So here we are. They're going to say to you, listen, you just put a camera on your head, just do normal chores, whatever you're going to do, just get the video and then send it to us. And from there, don't worry about it.
What if doing your chores could make you money? AI startups such as Ncord and Micro One are paying people just to film themselves doing daily tasks. Mm-hmm. Those tasks include washing dishes, doing the laundry, folding clothes, cooking, and the purpose for all of this content is to train robots. You can earn up to $150 an hour depending on a task. And these videos will teach robots real-world motion, grip, and precision. So it's pretty safe to say that your daily routine might be the next data set that will teach AI robots to do our daily tasks.
That's cool. Unless people are like, well, I've got a job doing daily tasks and it's going to replace me. Well, get in line with everybody else.
And they are, so we talked a couple of days ago about how OpenAI pulled the plug on their, I think it was $8 billion Sora, animation generator. Well, they did that to put all their money into robotics now. So this is clearly the next thing, and it's probably coming a lot sooner than we think. Melania had that robot come out with her for the education summit.
Yeah. I was reading the other day, and there's so much speculation. Because Elon Musk is throwing billions of dollars into these robots, I think probably within 10 years, you'll start to see, I don't know what percentage of homes that can afford them. Because once the first group buys it, the first cell phone, this is going back to 1981, 82, somewhere in there. I think it was like about $3,500 and $81. But then when you need the rich people to buy it, and once rich people start buying it, and then all of a sudden someone's able to produce the thing, and now you can pick yourself out. I know, I think Nate's got a Cricket phone. Is it Cricket? I think that's what phone he has. It's like $30 or something. So you get yourself a cheaper phone. So in this case, early adapters, being the rich people that obviously don't pay their fair share, they buy the robot, and then somebody else, next thing you get a robot. I'm all in on a robot.
Yeah, you want a companion.
I don't need it. Well, I hate to say it. Rye has, because Rye lives in his little apartment there in Lake Chelan, and he goes, there's really no one to talk to. In the winter, there's no one there. So I've really started having lots of conversations with ChatGPT, and he talks sports with him. I said, don't make him a friend. You get all weird. He's like, no, it's pretty amazing. You just have a whole conversation. I could see within 10 years of these robots become, affordable for people. I'd get one to do laundry and a bunch of other stuff around the house. Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, yeah. Would you give up lawn mowing?
I wouldn't give it lawn mowing. That's my pride and joy is get on that old zero turn and start that bad boy up. I love it. A little bit of I think about an edible and a half, and I am cutting grass for 4 hours. I learned an edible and a half because I took 2 one time, went out there for 4 hours and cut the grass, but forgot to lower the blade. So I didn't cut anything. Not one thing got cut. But because you're looking, as you're cutting, you look back and you're on the tracks. So I'm just following the tracks. I'm like, whew. This is great. I got the music playing in my ears, and I'm just going out there.
What song are you listening to?
Oh, probably something from, Zach Brown or whatever. I don't know, something like that. And, or whatever you want to play. Maybe something from Kid Rock. And then I remember I shut the thing down, got off the thing. I looked over, I'm like, huh? Grass it's grown back all of a sudden.
Very fast.
Oh, boy.
Lawn mowing is about the journey.
Now I'm falling in love as she's walking away.
Zero turn.
Radio.
Walking away.
You do 2 before the show?
No, I didn't do anything. So no robots. No robots on that. Would you get in a plane if there was a robot flying the plane?
Yep.
You would trust the robot more than a pilot?
I think so.
I talked to a pilot the other day. I said, do you really like being a pilot? I mean, all you do is enjoy the takeoff and the landing. He's like, love the takeoff, love the landing. I said, once you get up, you just flip the thing onto autopilot and the thing is flying itself. Right. And what do you do? He goes, well, then you read and, talk to the buddy next to you. I said, doesn't that suck? Like, what if you get stuck with some really annoying guy? He goes, yeah, because I'm pretty senior, so I sort of choose who I want to fly with, but there are certain dudes you just don't want to get up there with because they're just talking and talking and talking. It's so boring. But, yeah, they flip the thing off and come in for the landing and land it. But that whole thing, they could land all the way in and be perfectly fine.
It's got to be coming. I mean, less liability in that regard, too.
By the way, we're going to have an update for you, I think, by Friday on our buddy, Mac, who saved everybody from the runaway bus. You're going to get us an update?
I heard from him today.
Oh, did you really?
I did.
Okay, well, we'll have to get that later because we're a little out of time. But I got checked with Nate. Nate over in traffic. Nathan.
Yep, Heritage Homecraft has the update. Bellevue to Everett, we're down to 50 minutes. It's packed from Kirkland to Canyon Park. Seattle to Everett, 55. Still solid from Northgate into Mill Creek. Everett to Marysville's at 15 minutes. South 5 into Seattle slows at 85th in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle still taking about a half hour. Still got some slowing to get through in Linwood. North 5 is solid from the north end of Boeing Field to the Ship Canal Bridge. 45 to 50 minutes just to make it through downtown Seattle. Northbound 99, we're bumper to bumper from the West Seattle Bridge to South Lake Union. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle, plan on a half hour on both 52990. Tacoma to Olympia, we're at 45 minutes. Heritage Homecraft will transform your kitchen in about a week. Way less mess, time, and expense in a tear-out. Call today and Heritage Homecraft will pay your sales tax. 425-485-1600. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Nate Connors.
All right. If you don't want to wear glasses, you don't want to have readers, and you don't have no more contacts, and you're concerned about a cataract, you do what I did. I went to the doctor, and he's like, well, you need another prescription glass. I said, every year I'm coming in here. He goes, well, your eyes are really deteriorating rather rapidly. I was like, every year another pair of glasses? I mean, it's costly, and I didn't want another pair of glasses. I had a whole drawer full of them. So I started doing a little bit of research, and I found this stuff called RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. I was over the age of 50. I didn't want to wear readers, no more glasses, certainly didn't have a prescription. RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. So I started searching around, and I find K2 Vision. I thought, I'm going to go there to K2 Vision. I meet Dr. Kopstein. He's done more than 100,000 of these procedures. He says, now listen, I'll do it if it's going to have a great result. He checks my eyes. He goes, your eyes are in pretty bad shape. I said, I know, that's why I'm here. Let's do it. I said, yep. 5 minutes on one eye, 5 on the other. I come back, and there's the next day. I've got 20/20 vision. No more glasses, no more readers, no contacts, none of that. K2VisionRLE.com. The best. K2VisionRLE.com.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
April showers bring May who am I kidding? We live in Western Washington. The only thing April showers bring are clogged and overflowing gutters, which can damage your home from your roof to your foundation. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim, and my friends at Valentine Roofing are ready to come to your rescue. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, Valentine also offers gutter guards to help keep leaves and needles out for good, giving you an additional layer of defense against clogged and overflowing gutters. Having Valentine out at my house and seeing their professionalism and attention to detail, it's no surprise Valentine Roofing was awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company and Silver for Best Gutter Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. You deserve the best too, so schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Just call 206 Roofing. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. According to Puget Sound Express naturalists, the Salish Sea is buzzing right now with Bigg's orcas. These apex predators are on the prowl for seals, sea lions, and porpoises. In the past week alone, tours observed more than half a dozen different orca families in action. Also, migrating sounder gray whales have been feeding in social groupings near Whidbey Island before resuming their journey to Alaska. Plus, humpback whales are starting to arrive as well. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of beautiful Port Townsend on the Olympic Peninsula. Orcas, gray whales, humpbacks, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all.
That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in 1 day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Get out in the sun, get your hands in the soil. A little gardening goes a long way. Hi, I'm Sarah from Sky Nursery in Shoreline. April is a great time to grow your connection to nature. Whether it's native fir trees in your backyard, a thriving patch of flowers, or a walk through your local arboretum. Whatever your adventure, there is something beautiful to discover. Our purpose at Sky Nursery is to support you on your gardening journey with quality plants, supplies, and local knowledge. Celebrate Earth Day, Arbor Day, and Native Plant Month with Sky Nursery. Garden tips and info at skynursery.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
Thank you, Advanced Hair Restoration. Hudson, I believe you have a song that would be appropriate at this point. Yes? As you can see. Don't mess with them. Oh, sinker. All right, we'll get the letter today. First, take care of all the rest. Joe.
Dennis in Seattle says, guys, the president is going to be talking to me tonight around 6. So feel free to go ahead and put your ear to the door and eavesdrop and be nosy. Also, why in the world did that girl tell us to look at the moon?
Todd in Stanwood says, I thought Kid Rock was more of a Bud Light guy.
206 says, whoever did John's lighting today deserves an Oscar in lighting. I mean, his lighting is fantastic. Or his plastic surgeon is fantastic. Either way, he's looking really good.
Because I could thank Ursula for that, because she was like, my lighting. That's not exactly what she said. Roger in University Place. Wait, please tell me that the hammer story was an April Fool's joke, right? No, that's the real deal.
Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer?
Yeah, who's trying to change their jawline?
Matt Nissaquah says, in reference to yesterday's show, Joe, stay away from the rabbit holes. I prefer mole holes. You know what you see when you look down a mole hole? Molasses.
Drummer's right on today. Tin Hat Jason says, that was the best start to the show ever.
Nice. Josh in Auburn says, damn, Curly, you feeling okay? Almost seems like you got a commando wedgie he can't get fixed today with how he's so feisty on every topic.
That was more yesterday. The wedgie's better today. Brandon in Snohomish says, Joe is a legend. Let's hear his price.
Braden, by the way. Old Man John says, Joe, I wouldn't say lay one on me in this context. Also, why didn't they just send in women to solve the problem? FDR, Freudian slip?
Hee-haw, Aaron. Mr. Tuesday and Mr. Too Much Show, hee-haw.
Jim the Liberal Trucker says, so Joe said he would go deep six sailor for $1 million. No issue with that. My question is, would he stay in Washington with the millionaire tax in place?
425, no robot pilot could do what Sully did. Okay.
I'm your conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
All right, thank
Not
you.
that silly. Dina in Kent says, I love it when the show goes off the rails and almost always agree with John, but I have to vehemently disagree with his movie review. Top Gun Maverick was awesome.
That's right. Let's see. Moon launch. Ted from Enum Claw says, hey, John, do some quick research on the astronauts who died of the Challenger. Seems like they're still alive today. I've seen that story. Yeah, they confront these people. Yeah, they're like, you look exactly like so-and-so. And where have you? Yeah, there's a professor. I mean, you could look it up.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Haven't been down that one yet.
Yeah, enjoy that hole.
RC and Edmonds says, U.S. spacecraft integrity appeared to leave a trail of cloud dancer-colored smoke.
Matt in Seattle says, I'm in junior high watching the shuttle launch in science class. That would be the most messed up viewing experience until 9/11.
Yeah. Andrew in the 509 says, after watching many SpaceX launches, NASA must have gotten their cameras from Temu.
Talking about the new color of the year, Mike in Portland says Cloud Dancer is best described as a wall and a rental before you move in. I'm sure the world who's holding its breath waiting for 2026 vibe is aggressively neutral.
David, the mailbox guy, said, I heard the word stoned, and yes, I am. And Kirk from Tacoma said, good words, John. Remember, people have existed like this for millennia. The only difference now is the interweb has given them a voice in the occasional spotlight. Our challenge is to simply turn it off.
That's best. Fernando in Seattle says, why give that crazy person oxygen?
John on Camino Island says, why is white so bad? White people are not the color white. That's just plain bonkers.
Okay, there's John. Okay.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Thank you, Teeny. Much appreciated for your hard work.
This is a twofer because we lost two listeners.
Oh, boy.
253 says, excuse me.
Yes.
John, you are a wet blanket. We just witnessed a historical moment, and you bring up the Challenger disaster, which you shouldn't have done. And then you really trash the moment by saying we can't afford this. Just crawl under your wet blanket. You're not worth listening to anymore.
No!
And 425 says, man, Joe is really bringing down the Curley Show. I don't think I can listen anymore with all his conspiracy theories and just his overall tone. It's not fun.
Wow. So we lost 253 and 425. 2 area codes in one day.
We got to do better.
I know. Hey, where's my wet blanket? Now, these wool blankets really smell.
Disgusting.
By the way, the president will be speaking shortly, so we'll be interrupting our normal show that goes from 6 to 7.
That's right.
All right. Here's Snape checking traffic. Nathan.
Yes, sir. Seattle Sports has the update. Bellevue to Everett, we're down to 50 minutes. It is still packed, though, from Kirkland to Canyon Park, and it is just crawling through Kirkland. Seattle to Everett, also 50 minutes, still solid from Northgate and all the way up in through Mill Creek. Now, South 5 heading into Seattle gets heavy at Lake City Way in the downtown. Plan on 25 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. Still some more slowing through Linwood to get through. North 5 is solid from the north end of Boeing Field across the Ship Canal Bridge. Just really hasn't budged in the last 90 minutes. It's 50 minutes to get through this. Northbound 99 heavy from the stadiums to South Lake Union. Bellevue to Renton's at a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way, 40 minutes. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, down to a half hour. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday. All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000. Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive Home and Auto Bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So, Greg, not all tax resolution companies are the same. There are some that are definitely not local. There are others that don't quite know what they're doing even.
Well, I tell you, these ads that all of us hear, Fresh Start program, they make you feel like, hey, man, I can just easy peasy get my taxes written off. No. And I've had several clients actually come to me after going through that process, and they just get no response after a while. They're passed around from person to person. That doesn't happen at my firm.
You are familiar with the cases that come in. You're working on them.
I'm familiar with every case that comes into our office. And I know what's going on and have the ability to really advise our taxpayers very well on what to do.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. None Better Tax Resolution, from stress to success with IRS Solutions. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Olympic Hot Tub Sweet Spring Savings event is here. Now through April 14th, thanks to incredible factory discounts.